David, maybe he's in Discord.
All right. Well, what a amazing hang on that was, right? I don't know really what to add on that discussion we had with Debbie D and Kirsten. I mean, I'm sure you guys have a lot to talk about. So a lot of people wanted to have this after show, which we will have. Right now, we just have Colorado Biker Prepper in here. We have Ganesh. We got Tony. I did give the link to Debbie. She doesn't know how to get in here. She says she will be joining us, but she isn't here yet, so I don't know. So I don't know where you guys want to go as far as an after show. I think that, of course, Kirsten did very well and explained to Debbie the same thing we all explained to Debbie. Debbie just does not want to learn about anything. And
Don't want to learn about learning.
Yeah, and I have a vote on the non sequitur show Twitter, Poe or not Poe. And right now, I think let's check what you guys think it is, more Poe or not Poe?
No, she's real.
Yeah, she's not Poe.
She's real.
All right.
100% real.
Well, I didn't vote on it, so but
she's a fan. She's in it to win it.
Well, you're going to have to convince people that think she's a Poe, because I think it was almost 50-50 last time I looked.
No, I think it's more the problem of faith informing her decisions and beliefs rather than it being the other way around.
Well, 43% not Poe, 47% Poe. That's pretty close, within a small margin of error. I can't tell. I got to tell you right now, I just can't tell with Poes. You think that I have this discernibility, but Poes are so good that it really is ridiculously difficult to determine if somebody is just that unknowledgeable or willfully unknowledgeable and somebody who's pretending to be.
Yeah.
No, the problem is, again, okay, I see two problems here. One, she cannot entertain, or she cannot even hypothetically go for the other, or like give a thought to the other side.
That's a sign of a Poe, though, right? A Poe will say, well, I can't entertain a hypothetical. So that's...
But the problem is
conceptualization.
You missed the other point. Like, everything is informed by her faith. That colors
I do understand that.
Worldview.
Well, and that's why I got to the beginning where she was talking about evolution and her aunt saying that, from the very beginning, my life, evolution was told me to be wrong. I think everything stems from that. And I think this is one misinformation compounded by another misinformation,
exactly
right?
It.
But I got to tell you, she handled herself exceptionally well. Give her some credit. Debbie handled herself better than I've ever seen her handle herself. Do you guys agree?
Yeah, definitely.
Good. So there's progress made there.
But it still hurt.
It's considerably. I'm still working on my brandy here. I invited another flat earther, so by the way.
Great.
I think flat earther.
That's fun because I spent the dead time between the two streams getting some things together to ask Debbie directly. An observation I made years ago that I wish I had the footage for, but it was before I was ever introduced to flat Earth, so it didn't occur to me then. But it is something that I'd like to get her view on.
I'd like to see who she really looks up to in the flat Earth, and then show that they are.
Actually, if I can't get Debbie, like I said, I'm working on another one for you guys, a new one. Yeah, you guys like fresh meat, right? Like I'm tender.
Don't tell me it's Duranism, is it?
No, I don't know who this person is. This is a brand new one. No, you think no, if I'm gonna have Duranism here, I'm gonna make it a big production. He's not wasting on you guys, please.
Well, gee, thanks.
No, I'm kidding. No, Duranism could come in here anytime he wants. Anybody who has asked me for a link, I have not ignored you. I just didn't see if you sent me a link or message, so keep messaging me somewhere. I think I got everybody. The last one was Jared one, I think. But by the way, I'm just doing this as a regular hangout. This is not like a big production, so.
I'd really like. I mean, I've asked this question to Flat Earthers before in the Hangout. Steve, you were there, but I really want to know like what her view on other astronomical programs and like the history of astronomy across the world is.
Well, none of that stuff matters to somebody who's a diehard believer like that. I mean, you can show things like stellarium to some people. Oh, look, it works. Well, I don't believe it. Okay, well.
Yeah, but I want to get a rationale behind it, if you know what I mean.
Well, because the Bible says otherwise. Here, I'll play the part real quick. Ready? Bible says the earth is flat. Nothing you can say can overcome the Bible because the Bible was written by God and you're not God. There you go.
Okay.
But the Iliad
Yeah.
was
I win.
before
At that point, there's no
Bye.
point.
See you later.
Yeah, there really isn't. I mean, this is not to change Debbie's mind. This is to show other people that flat earthers have absolutely nothing. They
Yeah,
just-
because
she's
she
nice
gets
though.
back to-
She's really sweet. I'll give her that. She's actually legitly nice.
No, there's a lot of people out there with some really crazy beliefs that are genuinely very nice people.
Yeah, I mean, I met some flat earthers that are just, assholes. And yes, a woman could be an asshole. And she's not. She's very nice. She's not going to front. Even off air, she's really sweet. So
Yeah, I prepared a bunch of stuff on optics and everything for like telescopes and all that because that's my specialty.
oh, there's
And,
Debbie.
Hi, Debbie.
Hey.
Press the
Hey,
little
Debbie.
icon.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody.
Real quick, somebody just mentioned a quick question before we get Debbie in. I didn't see the whole show. Well, why not? You're supposed to watch from beginning to end. But did you guys talk about the equinox and how it's a problem for a flat Earth model? We did not. However, we might get into that because that's a very good thing. But yeah, we had about 300 people watching that. Debbie, by the way, if you didn't know that, 300 people the entire time. It was like 280, 290.
Holy crap!
Pretty good, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I didn't want to tell you how many
Yeah,
people were
yeah.
watching live because I didn't want you to get nervous. But we literally had damn near 300 people watching that live. So pretty good.
It's great.
Awesome.
Hey, Debbie, I've never talked to you, Debbie.
Who's this?
Meet you, Tony.
Tony. Okay. Nice to meet you.
Now I am bringing another flat earther in for you, just so you're not going to get overwhelmed. But they're new, and I don't know much about them. Yeah.
The flat earther, as competent as Debbie is with her flat Earth.
Well, I will say I don't know if you watched any of this before you came in, Debbie, but I was mentioning that first of all, that's the most mellow in any hangout I've seen you in. So I want to applaud you for that. You were able to maintain composure.
Yay.
Yeah. I hope I wasn't too harsh.
No, you're fine. No, not at all.
The reason why I was like that on the other hangouts with what's his face, JD, and because they basically lied to me and they said it was going to be about biology. I was just going to sit back and enjoy the show. Yeah,
No,
this is how to be an
we
ambush.
told you what you were in for coming on the non-sec, and I hope that
Yeah.
we met the expectations as far as we didn't want to mislead you. You knew we would be asking questions, and you'd be talking to Kirsten, and I think that worked out really well. So
Yes, I don't like you when Glow Earthers take the low road.
Yeah.
We don't have to. Sorry,
The lady Fiona.
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 she's a biologist.
Yeah, she's was like saying that I was crazy, but she was smoking like 3 cigarettes in one hand.
Well, that's called a
I'm
two
like,
quote quay
whoa.
fallacy. A two quote quay
That's called
fallacy.
addiction.
Well, yeah, I mean, I used to smoke. I smoked for 25 years. I quit 2 years ago. But a two quote quay is
3
basically saying, look,
cigarettes at the same
smoking
time.
is bad for you, but you're smoking. Therefore, your argument is valid. So people. She could be a biologist and smoke. It doesn't have anything to do with the fact
Yeah.
of what she puts
I got
out.
the two toke quaid fallacy.
Two quote quay.
No, the two toke.
Two toke. Okay. So anyway, hey, welcome. We got some new people in here that I've been talking to. Thomas, you're new, but I don't. You get your mic working?
No, I just use my phone now.
You just doing what?
Using his
Yeah, I just use my phone now.
Okay.
I just like all the shit is not just broken down. Like blue screen of that on one device, the other one doesn't have a micro.
No worries.
So,
You want to turn
I
off your
just
camera?
use
'Cause
my
you're looking at your
phone.
thumb or something.
sorry.
Thomas camera.
Just a sec.
Definitely.
How do I do that?
I can do that. Yeah. Hey, look at that. There's Thomas.
Hey, the forehead.
We see a forehead. We see a bald
Yeah,
head forehead. Yes. Is that you?
Mhm.
Validation, boy. That's not.
Are you like me? Are you follically challenged?
Like now?
You're not
Yeah, a little bit.
challenged.
Oh, yes, I am. Yes, I am. I'm going bald.
Yeah.
So is that why
It's
you're
just like-
growing the beard? You hope to do one massive comb over?
Yes, I'm gonna put my chin will like come over the back of my head. Yes.
Do a PE on it.
Yeah, best part is it'll cover your face. Haha.
Yeah. Well, I've got long hair, obviously, on the sides, and it kind of goes mostly to the top. But I am very thin on top. But my hair is down to my shoulders. Yes. But anyways, we have another flat earther in here. Uber. Let's get him going here real quick. Uber.
All right, Uber.
Uber is
Welcome.
muted, I think.
Uber, you have to unmute. And Thomas, I have to mute you real quick because your phone is making weird thumping noises because you're knocking it around.
Okay, just mute me. I'm just like
Oh, no worries. Just unmute when you want to talk. Okay, so Uber, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you guys.
Okay, first of all, did the person survive? Did he not jump?
He's all good, bro.
Awesome. I want to make sure that I didn't take you away from anything important. I guess Uber was talking to somebody who was threatening to jump off a ledge or the earth or the planet or I don't know, something along those lines. All right, so you're a flat earther too, right, Uber?
Yeah.
Okay. And
Yay!
okay, so at least make it more equal in here. Ganesh, you know what I'm gonna do?
Hey.
I'm just gonna toss this right over to you and you have at it. How's that?
Okay.
Be my guest.
Yeah, I can take it from here.
Yeah, you're the man.
Thanks, Steve. Debbie and Uber, hi guys. Thank you for
Hello.
coming here. I just got a couple of quick questions. You discussed a lot about NASA and their pictures, Debbie.
Yes.
Does it also extend to other space organizations across the world? For example,
Yes.
the Indian, the Chinese, European,
Yes.
Bulgarian, Serbian, Argentinian, Brazilian.
Yes, I think they're all in cahoots. I think that they're
Mhm.
all running just like a major scam. I think they're profiting. They're taking money from the people, and they promise the moon, deliver dirt.
And what is the scam they are running?
It's marketing. Like an illusion that they've given. With the all the images they give us. I've seen like
Mhm.
the Jax. What is it thing like transiting the moon thing? I think did they drop the live feed or something? I mean, just didn't look right. I've
Okay,
seen like some of their launches too.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, it just looks even not just fake.
Okay,
It looks
so
worse than NASA.
yeah, but because not all countries have the budget of NASA, we gotta make do
Yeah.
with what we gotta make do. Our space program gets less budget than Hollywood blockbusters. What do you want to do with that? So on
It's
that
Hollywood.
point, couple of questions. Like you said, so you don't believe that anything has, for example, we recently had probes on Moon and Mars. We are sending another probe and a lander to Moon this year. We are planning to send a probe to the Sun, and we are in discussions about a Venus probe and a follow-up Mars probe in the next 5 years. So these are all planned by the Indian Space Research Organization for the next 5 years. And they do commercial launches, so you can pretty much get in on them.
I think.
So
I think
have
I did
you
see
actually
an
looked into
Indian
that?
launch. I think I did see an Indian launch. It looks similar to NASA, but like on a cheaper scale. Yeah. So I mean, nobody's going to convince me that rockets are going outer space. It's.
Okay, so even if you could actually put a camera on it yourself with your own unique feed and see it actually going to a different planet, you wouldn't get convinced.
If I seen it myself, you mean like?
Yeah.
I'm not.
For example,
it's impossible.
For example, let's like I said, ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization, is sending a probe to Moon later this year. They are also sending a lander. What if you could actually get a camera and something or whichever one you like on it by yourself, or some other flat earther who could actually pay to get their camera on there, and you could watch the live feed by yourself?
Okay, so if they put
Would
a
that
camera
convince you
on
that
there.
we are actually, entirely by yourself?
Okay, so if I'm filming it like outside, and if it's going in the.
Yeah, you
like
can
up?
watch every bit of it. You can have a camera on the spaceship, on the rocket. You can be filming it from different points across the world. I mean,
No.
Flat Earth is a global community, right? So you can easily coordinate with people across the world to come film it, right?
No, that probably wouldn't convince me. No.
Why not?
Because I don't think they've been into space. The moon obviously was a hoax.
Well, let's lay it
look
on
at all
the
their-
table.
I'm not saying that
Gonna-
was not the question here.
Let's
I'm asking.
let's cut to the chase because I mean I don't want to rehash the last 3 hours. She
Okay.
won't. There's no evidence that's going to convince her. She's already made that clear. There's no evidence that's going to convince her.
Okay, so there's no evidence that is going to convince you. And you
Right.
said that there are
So-
no satellites in space, right? There are no satellites orbiting the Earth, was your claim, correct?
Yeah. Do you, yeah. Is there any pictures of any? They launch these things all the time. Have you seen any pictures of it? Can you confirm it to your for yourself that they're
Yeah,
up there?
I can.
You have pictures of them?
Yeah.
From what? From the ground?
From the Indian Space Research Organization, I told you. From ISRO.
From the ground?
Any way you want.
Well, I spoke to NASA and they don't have any. He could not give me any. I spoke to NOAA engineer. Had a
Okay.
long, like an hour conversation with him, and I asked him a lot of questions.
Mhm.
And he says that they don't have images of satellites. So I don't understand why
Okay.
how India has it
So-
and NASA doesn't.
Because NASA doesn't want to take it, and India has been launching satellites for the past 40 years for
So
various
what do-
purposes.
What do we need satellites for exactly?
For
GPS.
example, no, Steve, let me take this. So, for example, we had, about, if you go back to about 1990s, India is pretty much very vulnerable to hurricanes that form in the oceans near us. So, loss of life and property was an insanely huge problem. So one we did was we built an entire weather forecasting network just by Indian satellites, so that we could predict cyclone movements. We could predict where it is going to hit. We could plan evacuations and everything, so that the last cyclone that hit, we barely had any deaths. I think we had like 2 or 3 deaths, and that is one of the worst cyclones we had. Okay. Point number 2, we have a lot of remote locations across the country, especially deep into the forest or very high up in the mountains. So we could take medicine. We do telemedicine to them. We do broadcast programming. We do satellite television. We have an open university that uses these satellites to teach people all across India on different subjects. For example, my university, we had a dedicated satellite that we used to communicate with people in different villages, different towns, and even across the country to talk about, conduct conferences, conduct lessons, everything. Third, we did remote sensing and mapping of the country, the lands, natural resources, and everything, so that we know, since we cannot go exploring, spending lots of finance and manpower, remote sensing was a huge deal for us. That is actually why the space research program was originally launched. It was a big deal for us to get our own remote sensing capabilities up. And this is just civilian users.
Okay, so they're taking pictures of like Earth topography or like weather.
Just a sec, 1 second, please.
Well, the Himawari the Himawari has photographs that will show clouds and weather and things like that. One picture every 10 minutes, high res.
Explain cyclones on the flat Earth.
Okay.
So real quick,
Well, let me address that because he was speaking to me, please.
Ganesh, can I ask you something
So-
real quick, boss?
Let Debbie finish, and then Uber.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's okay, no worries. So
they
Debbie, go ahead
launched
and answer.
Yeah, they launched balloons, and I've got like a few many images of them launching satellites on balloons. So what if they're the ones that are taking the weather and
I've never seen a satellite. Can you give me a link for that, by the way?
No. We have high altitude balloons. Those are not satellites. Those are entirely 2 different things.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm asking. I mean, she says that she's
Yeah, but they
seen
take the same-
satellites.
yeah, but they take the
You've
same
seen satellites
images.
from balloons?
plus plus the NOAA, they have airplanes that they take pictures too. I've got those. I mean, I've got
Which is
multiple
not the same thing that
aircraft
we're
from-
talking about, though.
Yeah, those are entirely different things. Each
Totally
one has their
different
own
things.
purpose. Each one has their own resolution.
Yeah,
There are so many different variables you take into account. We do
Yeah.
everything. We coalesce data from every bit of information we can.
Yeah, well, these things can take pictures of Earth. There's airplanes that can fly around and take pictures of Earth.
from a much lower perspective, much lower
Altitude.
altitude.
Yeah,
Much lower altitude.
I think they do about only 50,000 feet, right?
Your ceiling's around 50,000 for a lot of planes. I mean, even commercial airlines only
Yeah.
travel around 30 to 40,000 for most airplanes.
Yeah,
But
even high altitude balloons don't go more than 70 or 80,000 feet, if I remember right.
Yeah, Cyrus, you got a mic real quick.
Stratosphere.
We have a new person, and I did give them a link, but I want to make sure they're legit. So, Cyrus, you got a mic? Cyrus?
Oh, you got airplanes that fly up to 90,000 feet. So I mean,
No, there are very high. There are very, very high altitude
yeah.
things. But
Yes, the U2 and the SR-71, both one
Blackbird,
of which has been retired, the other is near retirement.
Yeah, they don't even fly the
Yeah.
SR-71 Blackbird anymore, do they?
No, they
No,
don't.
I don't
it's
think so.
retired.
Yeah.
They crashed. It was too dangerous. They crashed. It wasn't because
No,
of,
it wasn't
military.
that they were too dangerous. They were.
Yes, I read the website. It was
The
the danger of it.
Concorde was retired because it crashed. The SR-71 was retired the same reason as the F-14. It was too costly per flight hour.
Yeah, I think that's correct,
Yep.
actually.
Like I said, finances are still a big trouble. So you
well-
gotta make the most cost-effective choice.
Well, why else do we need satellites besides the?
I just gave you 3 reasons.
Because
Those are just purely civilian, and I didn't even go into the most commercial use of satellites. This is just purely civics and nation development.
Or
Yeah,
do you have
maybe
actually?
for archaeology.
Well, I like to see a picture of a satellite in space.
No, I gave you a reason. These are all the things we are using satellites for.
Well, let me.
Can
let
you
me-
actually
I'm
reject
saying that
any
there's
of them?
there's
No,
there's
can you?
stratospheric
No,
platforms
Debbie, please hear the
on
question.
balloons.
No, please, Debbie, hear the question. Okay. We have been doing these programs for the past 40 years, INSAT, starting from INSAT. Okay. That is our satellite program, Indian satellites. That is short for INSAT. Okay. So we've been doing these for the past 40 plus years. We've collected
that's
huge
over-
amounts of data in these past 40 years.
Yeah, but that's over
Uh,
there. NASA spends more than your space program.
Sure,
over
I'm
there,
not talking
so,
about NASA. I'm talking about
if they're
ISRO.
not, if they can't offer any,
I don't give a damn about NASA,
satellites. then
No, I
why
don't
do
give a damn
He's
about
not
NASA.
American. He's not. He doesn't give a shit about NASA. He's not. He's
Well,
not
he's-
American.
He's talking about the Indian, right? So
Yeah. Have you actually looked into other space programs? What they do, how they
I've
do
only-
it, why they do it? What
no,
have
I've
they done
seen
over
their,
the
I've
past
seen their
years?
launches. I've seen their launches, and they looked at.
No,
I mean,
they
it
have
looks worse
launched.
than
They've
NASA's.
commercially shown only a couple of launches. The Indian, I mean, ISRO is one of the
I
most.
know I've seen Indian because I was curious about these other space agencies. So Indian,
Mhm.
JAX, I have seen. ESA,
Okay.
I think ESA I may have seen one.
Okay.
Russia, I'm not sure if I've seen any of Russia's.
Okay.
Except
Except
their
the
globe
launches, have you
except their globe
actually looked
image.
into anything else?
Except their globe image, with the
Yeah.
orange continents and the little tool in the
Mhm.
middle. They forgot.
Okay.
They just got lazy and forgot to remove that.
Okay.
Um,
Did you actually hear my question, Debbie? Except
Yeah,
watching a
I
launch,
said-
did you actually look into what the satellites are being used for?
Listen, I
What
read the
you could do
I
with those
read the
satellites.
website, and this is what it said about satellite imagery and everything like that because I had to go do a little digging. They said that
Okay.
all space agencies collaborate on for Earth imagery. These are satellites they were talking about. I mean, not
Okay.
satellites, but oh boy, I can't remember. I'm sorry, I can't just remember everything. They give they exchange the data back and forth.
Yeah, for research, yes. For example, ISRO sells the actual bandwidth.
Yeah.
They actually sell the data. You can buy it yourself if you pay the money.
Yeah, the scientific community loves sharing data to interested and applicable parties.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And by the
That
way,
is
I
common
wanna-
across all
so
sciences.
real quick, you've got on the screen. Jared has a satellite. I put another one in the group chat. So let me ask Debbie.
Oh wow, Hubble!
hang
Wow,
on,
who
hang
has
on one
Hubble?
second. One sec. We have to
15
ask.
seconds.
It kind of
That's funny.
lends to the question: how do you determine whether a photograph is real or fake? And we have somebody who actually does know about this topic, who has expertise to do this. What methodological approach do you say I'm going to use to determine that photograph is not real? Because you asked for a photograph, so you can't just say, "Well, it's not real." You have to give us reasons
Right.
exactly why using science why that isn't real using what you know about optics.
I'm looking at people that are into this, like in the software, they know about software programs. So they're very knowledgeable about, can point out what's wrong with the photo or,
But can
just
you?
give like since I've been doing it for a while, yeah, I can.
Okay, what's wrong with that photo that Jared has had?
Which one?
That we have in the Hangouts chat.
Hang on, I'll show it again.
Yeah, please show it again.
You already had the Hubble.
It is Hubble. Yeah, I think we all recognize it as Hubble. So how is that not a real photograph? And what analysis are you using? Then we have an expert here to critique your analysis.
Okay, so you get to show me who took that picture.
Makes no difference where it came from.
Yeah,
Source
it does.
No, it's a fallacy.
It's another space.
Fallacy.
No, it's just another space asset supposedly took that picture, and I want to know like how far away, and how far that is above the Earth. I would have to know every detail.
Okay, well that's fine. Those are two things you would be required to know, or you could ask.
You just can't. You can't just show something and say, "Oh, that's it." That
All right. So if you have those data, you have that data.
I have to check into it.
Sure. If you had that data,
Yeah,
if you had that data, how would you go about using that in your analysis?
Well, we need to know the who took the picture, and
who took the picture doesn't matter. It's a picture. Jesus took the picture. Seriously, Jesus took the picture. I mean, it makes no difference. That's a genetic fallacy. Analyze
I would have
it.
to see a breakdown, right? I would have to see a breakdown, several videos to see what people are saying about it.
Well, no. What they are saying about it doesn't matter. Use your expertise to show that it's not a real photo.
I know that thing is not up there too. What is it, like 350 miles up? That thing barely can fit in the cargo, to my understanding, because it barely. Oh, you know why I believe that is because that thing was the size of a bus, okay, and so that was like at the time was the heaviest object lifted to space.
Okay, but how is that a real photo?
Actually, no.
Don Pettit said that they had a hard time getting rockets up with large payloads.
It was at the max capacity of the space shuttle. It was not the heaviest object ever taken to space.
Big difference.
That was launched in 1990. So at the time, that was the heaviest apparatus. Space
that might have been at the time. I think she might be right at that. I think Hubble was.
It was in 1990. It was launched, and
yes, but the space shuttle that took it had a smaller capacity than the Saturn V rocket that was used in Apollo.
And then they messed up on the lens. They had to go back and do another mission to fix the lenses, which is
they had to go back. Yeah, that proved. Yeah, that kind of demonstrates that it's really up there because they had another mission.
No, I think no, it's just another scam to take money. I mean.
All right, but you do admit though you cannot look at this photo and give us evidence why this photo is not true.
Let me see it. I have to really. First of all, that's not a true picture of it.
Well, why? That's the point. That you use your analysis. Use your understanding.
Where's the others? Well, if there's other satellites that's close to it, where is the other satellites?
Okay. Wait. Hang on. To address that question, Debbie, I have a question.
Hang on. Jared, you asked a question. Let Jared answer.
Can I ask my question, please? Because it goes directly to what you just asked about why don't we see other ones? Can you see a city bus from 15 miles away?
No.
So why do you expect to see other satellites in this image?
Because they're so small, you're not going to be able to see them from that field of view. If there are any other satellites around, they're not going to be visible.
There's supposed to be 14,000 satellites in space junk out there.
And they are hundreds of miles apart at the close.
Hundreds of miles, Debbie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you're not going to see. You're not going to see something at hundreds of miles away.
Are you saying you can't capture any type of space asset? You can't capture satellites.
If you are looking specific, here's the thing, Debbie. From here on the Earth, if you are looking specifically for one, you can use a tracker to see where one is going to be.
Yeah, you see where there's a reflection on the thing. You see there's a reflection. There's a reflection on that. Where's the reflection coming from, and where's the sun position? I have to go look at the time location. There's a lot of things that'd be involved to find out if this is real. But
judging
that's
by
the CGI
in that direction.
That's not real. That's a CGI, and so if that's real, then they
You're
should have more
claiming it's
pictures like
CGI.
that from different.
What analysis
They
have you
should
done?
they should
to
have more
determine it
pictures
is
of like this
CGI?
at all different directions, and the ISS should be able to capture that thing. While they're doing missions, they just point at the
But
little
here's the thing:
telescope.
the
and take a
ISS
picture.
isn't up there to look at these things just to appease your
Yes,
whim.
it is. It's
Yeah,
100
and the
miles.
ISS
It's
wait,
basically
and by the
100
way,
miles away.
the ISS is 100 miles lower.
It's
in
100
orbit.
miles away.
The ISS is 100 miles lower in orbit than the Hubble.
If the Hubble's higher, and the Chandra
Yeah.
telescope is even higher than that.
Which I just said, the ISS is 100 miles lower than Hubble. Hubble is 100 miles higher.
Yeah, I know that. Yes, it's up there higher. So when they
And
go
yet
do
the
missions on
Discoverer
it,
is even
right,
farther.
when they go,
It discovers that
Right, when
L1.
they-
That's like 1,000,000 miles. It's
when they go do-
930,000 miles or something like that. So yeah.
it's,
But real quick, I know a lot of people have
well,
been
an
asking me
engineer
that.
did a
Hang on one sec,
telemetry.
Debbie.
He found out that it's 10 miles line of sight due to atmospheric drag.
A lot of people have been messaging me, and so I kind of have to like respond to them. So first, before I get to the next
Is there
person,
another?
wait,
Is there another flat earther here?
Debbie, yeah, that's what I'm going to bring in. Uber, you wanted to add something to this, and Cyrus wants to as well. So to make sure that we get people in, Uber, what did you want to add to this?
I wanted to ask, I'm sorry, how do I say your name, dude? Ganesh? Is
Ganesh.
that right?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Okay.
It's not a great name. Sounds like a baklava. Sounds like a after dinner or something. Hey, how was the Ganesh I made? It was awesome.
Sounds like a Mediterranean dessert, dude.
Doesn't it? It really
Yeah.
does like a Greek Mediterranean dessert. You're exactly right. Is it?
Yeah.
Is that I don't even know what Ganesh is, but
I
it
never
sounds
thought
like
about it.
it does.
Yeah, I
It's
never
like
thought about it.
made with olives and like olive leaves or something. I don't know. It sounds yummy.
That would be olive
Yeah.
tapenade.
Oh, that sounds so
No,
good.
it would be dolmas.
Dolmas, yeah, dolmas. Oh, yeah, love dolmas. Oh my. Okay, you're making me hungry. Stop. Okay, go ahead.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, go ahead, Uber.
I just wanted to clarify with you. So this Indian research facility or
Isro.
space
You can just
agency,
call it Isro.
Yeah, whatever you want to call it.
Mhm.
It's the ISRO, right?
Yeah.
That's the acronym for it.
Yes, that is the acronym.
Hey, Steve, do you mind if I is it okay to screen share, dude?
You can screen share, just don't play a video.
Yeah. No,
Yeah, you
I'm
can
not
screen
sure.
share. Because I had copyright issues.
Yeah.
I like to see a I like to see a
YouTube
launch.
is really bad about that, man.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. You're preaching to the choir, buddy. All right. So yeah,
Yeah.
images are fine.
So okay, so this is those satellite photos that you guys were talking about, right? Like these are
No.
the
No.
many photos.
No.
Are you sure? Because when I
Those are
click on it,
those are renditions.
when I click on
Yeah,
it,
those
renditions,
are-
right.
check
Yeah,
this
those
out.
are renditions and pictures of the launch.
Well, I mean, the image that you guys were just showing right now, I just saw that. Where the hell did it go?
Yeah, it's not going to come up under.
Well, even if it does,
ISRO.
it doesn't. That has no
But
relevancy.
yeah, I'm sorry, guys. That really wasn't even my point. I was just
Okay.
trying to make sure that these. I mean, because these are what pops up when you type in this ISRO satellite.
We admit we agree there's renderings. Renderings do exist. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
there's a wonderful thing with the
I can
imagery
again.
provided from NASA and the other space agencies. If it is a CGI image, it will be labeled as an artist's rendition.
Yeah.
Yes.
Very
Yeah,
clearly.
as an artist rendition, as there's a
Which-
couple other phrases that they use.
Well, I think artist rendition kind of gives it away that it's not a real photograph. That kind of
Yeah, but
Yes.
the Hubble, didn't they just paste that on and put that back the Earth image in the background? They like just
No.
pasted that
No.
thingy.
No. The image
No.
I was showing was taken shortly after it was released from STS-31, the shuttle mission
And-
that launched it.
And I can actually share you videos from the most recent ISRO launch. They actually had an onboard camera, like I told you, Debbie. You can actually see the satellites being deployed and Earth in the
Oh,
background.
really now?
Those,
Yeah,
it
I've
is a
seen
live
that.
video. That is why I asked you this question.
and this is why we
Okay.
ask.
It
if
is
you want
literally on their homepage.
if you
You
want
can
to
go over
photograph.
there and check it. It's literally on their homepage.
So the problem I have asking when
Uh,
you see this, and Debbie, and I don't mean to be disrespectful on this, but listen to me very carefully. it's really dishonest. It is really intellectually dishonest when you say, show me a picture. But even if you show me a picture that is legit, I will tell you that it's not. And I have no way to confirm whether it is legit or not. That is not how you approach something, right? Because you can see that no matter what we show you, you don't have the skill set to determine if this right, real photograph or not. And even still, even if it was a real photograph, you would not accept it because you've already made the determination that nothing can prove you wrong.
That's because everybody was telling me that the satellite images were real, and I'm like, well, who do I trust? So I called NASA myself.
You just literally did not
He says
pay attention to what I
no.
told you.
There's
There's
going
nothing.
He says, no, we don't have any.
There's
I heard it
nothing
out the
that will
horse's
show
mouth.
you. But
Going
Debbie,
along
listen.
I heard it out the
Okay.
horse's
Your
mouth.
guys
Debbie,
thinking,
again,
though.
coming back to my point, even if you ignore NASA completely, I can give you videos from, for example, Indian space launches. They have been doing cameras on their launches for a while now.
I've already seen their launch, and it looks ridiculous to me. I mean,
It seems like you haven't.
I don't think she has either. But
Yeah,
real
it seems
quick,
like you
I
haven't
have.
because
we'll get back. We'll get
Okay.
back. I got to get.
could you show me? So what did you see in the
I've
launch?
definitely
Okay,
seen an
what
Indian
did you
launch.
see in the launch? Please go ahead. What did you
I've
see in
definitely
the? Okay, what did you see?
I
Did you
just see
see
they had
just
the
the launch,
rocket
or
there,
did you
they're,
see
like,
the actual
starting up the
satellites
engine,
being
little smoke
deployed?
coming out.
Okay.
It just the whole thing looks like a a stage set. I mean, to me, it
Okay.
didn't look.
And did you actually follow through
Did
the
they
whole
switch the
video and see the
simulations?
satellites being deployed?
I can't remember. I think it was just a normal launch. I don't know what they were launching. Don't they switch to like?
Yeah, that's because you haven't
cartoon?
actually seen the satellites being deployed. Like I said, it is literally on their homepage. I can give you a link if you like. In fact, I'm actually sharing
No.
you a link.
I'm sorry. I don't want to. I'm just so tired of seeing these images from these.
Yeah, again,
space
it doesn't.
missions.
It doesn't really matter.
This is not an image. This
teasing
is
me.
actually a live video.
But it's not going to convince her. It's for other people. There's no evidence
See, Debbie,
she'll get.
the problem is I live about 30 miles from where the launches take place. Okay, including our Mars mission, including our lunar mission. I've actually seen these with my own eyes, and I have followed through with them.
But you're a
Okay.
shill.
Yeah, and I'm in Cape
Why would I
Canaveral,
be
so
shilling?
Yeah,
I
you're
have
part of the
actually-
conspiracy.
Yeah, why?
because you're Indian and smart, and you have pictures and stuff.
No, guys, let's not go there. Let's not derail the conversation. But this is actually I want an answer from Debbie and Uber.
Well,
on this. I live about 30 miles from here.
Okay.
I've seen these launches
So-
with my eyes. I've actually been in the facility
Guys would
where
like
the
it.
scientists are.
So you were on the ground. You saw the rocket leave, right?
Okay. Enough with these stupid ass fake rocket launches. Let's talk about these satellites real quick,
Okay.
guys.
No,
that we were
Uber,
talking
hang on,
about.
hang on a
second.
Hey,
Stop there.
You
Stop
didn't see
right
it
there.
go
Stop
into-
right there.
Yeah,
No,
hang
you
on.
Debbie,
didn't see it go into
Please give me a
space,
minute,
though.
please. Debbie, give me a minute. Why do you say they are fake, Uber?
Well, okay, so
Because Jerry
back to-
he did a very good cover on these smoky. It's
I
the
have
Debbie,
smoky
seen it
mirrors,
with my own
video.
eyes and I followed through with it. You can watch the actual
You have seen
camera
it.
video.
I believe you saw something leave. I believe you saw something leave, go up, but you didn't see it go into space. Is what I'm saying. That's all.
Sharon's a scammer.
You have a live video feed. You can
A
put
live
your own camera on it. What part of this do you not understand?
You have a live video
You-
feed on what? The rocket
On
leaving.
the rockets
escape
leaving
velocity?
and the
Is that what
satellites
you're talking
being deployed. Did you even
Okay,
look
it's-
at the video that I shared in the Hangouts? You can actually see the
No,
satellites
I don't
being
see
deployed
anything.
in space.
about? No, I'm not seeing anything.
Yeah,
It is
again,
in the Hangout chat.
again, we're going down a rabbit hole. She's not going to accept anything provided for her, so why bother? Let's move on.
Oh.
Cyrus, you wanted to add something real quick? I've been trying to get to Cyrus for a while because he's been waiting patiently, and I
Is there
just
anybody
see the
here
point-
that?
Well, hang on one
Is there
second.
anybody here
Debbie,
on my level? Is anybody here on my wavelength here? My
yeah,
level
Uber.
of,
Yeah, we have Uber. But here's where
I just haven't
Well, can
had
you-
a chance to say anything, that's all.
Can you speak?
Yeah, we'll get back to Uber in a second, but here, real quick. Listen, if somebody asks for evidence and they're not willing to evaluate the evidence and dismisses the evidence outright, stop giving people evidence. They're not intellectually wanting to evaluate it on any kind of honest level. There's no reason to. At that point, you're just not helping them. All you're doing is
Because I know
basically
what the
playing their little
programs are all
game,
about.
right?
I know what NASA's all about. I know what
Apparently
But he's
you
not from
don't.
NASA. He's
I'm
not
not
even-
from NASA. I'm not even
They're the
bringing
ones
NASA.
that gave us the globe image. They're the ones that's supposed to
and-
confirm the globe.
I don't care.
And they have
I-
not confirmed
Have
the
I brought
globe.
in NASA at
Hang
any
on,
point
Debbie.
in my
They
conversation,
haven't
Debbie?
confirmed the globe. They've
No,
never been
have
to
I
space
brought
to
in
take a whole
NASA at
picture
any
of
point
the
in my
Earth in its
conversation?
entirety.
Maybe.
Hang on.
Why
Have I brought in NASA at any point in my conversation?
Why are we dealing with rockets when we should be looking at these globe images and find out why the fuck are they
Debbie,
not giving
please
us more
answer my
images?
question. Please,
Okay.
please
I
answer
haven't
my
answered a
question.
lot of your questions. I still stand
No,
firm
you
on,
haven't.
my beliefs.
No, you haven't.
Yes, I have.
No,
Can
you
I
rejected it.
interject
I
But
told you
haven't
we don't need
answered the
satellites,
question.
and I can give you 1,000 reasons why we don't need them. We don't need satellites.
Give me
in
one,
space.
please.
These are just
One.
money that they're scamming the people. These are draconians. We're part of the system that these powers that not be have taken
Okay,
control
here's
of
the actual
Earth
kicker, Debbie. Here's the
and put us
actual
in a
kicker.
control system.
No, here's the actual kicker. Okay, ISRO actually makes money. It's a profitable business.
Yeah, and
It's
who
not
pays
just
for
taking
it?
money.
And who pays for it?
ISRO.
$1 a year.
What part of
Actually,
it do you not understand? They use their own revenues to pay for their programs.
Yeah, it's private industry. It's
Part of
commerce.
it? Yeah. What part of it do you not
You know
understand?
what,
who
boss?
pays for-
Thank
and
you
who-
so much for the
who
invite,
pays for
man.
it?
But
All right, let's.
Your space,
wait,
yeah,
wait.
but your space program.
Hang
How
on.
much does it,
All right,
does it come
Uber's
out of
got-
people's
Uber, we're gonna answer in
pockets?
a second right now. Uber,
I know
hang
it.
on. All right, so Debbie, hang on. Cyrus, I'm going to pass on you because you've been messaging me, but you.
Oh my God! Can another farther just
I've been
like
Debbie,
agree with me here?
Debbie,
Okay,
let
let
Uber
Uber talk.
talk.
Let Uber
He's
talk.
on your
Let
Yeah,
side.
we're going to get Uber in a second. Cyrus, do you have something to add real quick or not? Okay, we can't hear Cyrus. All right, Uber, what do you want to add to this? What is your, instead of, let's kind of switch this up. What do you have that demonstrates flat Earth? Because we can present all the evidence that we want to you, and all you have to do is sit back and say, none of it's true. Okay, great. At that point, not worth having a discussion. Why don't you give us something we can evaluate and give you our expertise? Well, not mine specifically, but the people on the panel, and then we can show step by step what you're saying. It doesn't work, and that way we will show people. Look, that's how you evaluate evidence properly. So, what do you have that you present as evidence that the Earth is not round? It is flat.
Okay, here we go. Well,
Let's do it.
Can I finish this one thought first, Steve? That we were talking about like 10 minutes ago before this whole show thing started.
Yeah.
So Hubble, right, is 568 kilometers up, right? Can we all agree on that?
Yep, 353. Yep.
Okay. And you guys showed that picture right here of this one, right? That's Hubble, right?
That's Hubble.
So that means that whatever took that picture had to be at least 500 kilometers up, right?
Okay.
Well,
I don't know what
how high,
picture, to be honest with you.
how high is the highest satellite? High Earth orbit, when the satellite reaches exactly 42 kilometers from the center of the Earth.
42,000 kilometers.
42, my bad.
Geosynchronous.
Ship that deployed
It's in geosynchronous orbit.
42,000
In the
kilometers from
thermosphere, I
the
believe.
center of the Earth. So high Earth orbit is 42,000 kilometers. So that's like
From
almost
the center of the Earth.
that's
not
like
the
450 kilometers lower than where Hubble is. So
That
I
was the
honestly
ship.
think that Debbie's original question about who took the picture of that would actually be a pretty legit question.
You already answered it.
When you look at the difference in the gap between these, who did take that picture? What did take that picture?
I think somebody already answered that, but the distance from the surface to the center of the Earth is 24,000 kilometers, 25,000 kilometers.
It was the ship that deployed it.
Yes, the image of Hubble
deployed it.
that I was showing was taken during STS-31, which was the space shuttle mission that released it into its orbit.
Okay, so the STS-31, the 35th mission of the space shuttle.
Okay, then, dude, no problem. I will take that for now. I'll accept that right now, dude. I didn't hear that earlier. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah, no worries. No
Yeah,
worries.
that's fine.
So if we have telescopes in space, where's the
But-
real picture of Earth?
It's not facing Earth.
Right now.
Epic
Yeah,
is
it's
covered.
Whoever
facing-
wants to show us one more thing.
Hubble
We
is
have the
a
globe in our,
Hubble
the
is
globe in our
a
face all the
deep space
time.
telescope. Hubble is a deep
Symbols
space
and,
telescope. It was not designed to look back at the Earth.
Yeah, it's from
TV
deep
media.
space.
Yeah,
And there's a new one going up called the Webb telescope going up in 2009.
Still, if your kid came to you and said, Daddy, do you have a picture of the Earth? What would you show them? You would show them.
Well,
what?
we've shown you. See, but Debbie, listen to me very carefully. Why
Why are
bother
you
showing you?
shaping
Wait,
this?
Debbie, I want to ask you a question. Why bother showing you pictures of the Earth
Mhm.
if all you're
It's
going to do
not
is say
for
they're not
me.
real?
It's for your child. It's not for me. It's
My
for your
child's
child.
smart.
And
My
the
child is
same-
very educated. She knows the Earth is not flat. She knows she can give
I'm not
evidence why the
saying
Earth is
that.
not flat.
I'm saying
But
if she asked you where a picture for, a picture to
I will show her an
what would you
actual
show?
picture of the Earth taken from space. We have them. They do exist.
Okay, so which one is that?
How many do you want to see?
1972.
He just showed you one right now.
There's
You just-
There's like 4,000 of
there's
them.
many
And
of them.
I can
know
even
there's-
show you
There's
videos.
many of them, and they all look different.
But you have to French
So?
Yes.
They all look
Hang
different. Yes.
Hang on. Debbie, yes, they will look different because they were taken from different locations at different focal lengths at different times.
Exactly.
Which one's in question, though? Are you speaking?
Okay.
of?
You apparently question all of them.
Yeah, you think all of them are wrong, Debbie? You see that problem there?
Yes, they are,
here's an
because they
easy
already
way,
admit-
Debbie. Here's an easy way for you to
The blue marbles have already
understand
been admitted they're
that we
photoshopped
are
because
on
they-
a globe Earth. That
No,
this
we're
changes.
not.
Okay,
Hang
so
on,
you
let
can
Kyle
do this
talk.
anytime.
Yeah.
You can do this any day that you have a clear sky and a good bit of highway and a car at your disposal. So what you do is you can start close to sunset, right? You can watch the sunset, drive for 30 minutes, right? And the sun will appear to be different because you've changed your location. You can change atmospheric conditions. You can make it look differently. But here's an even better result. Okay, here's an even better result. This is one that I've seen personally because my father was a nuclear weapons technician for 20 years. I spent a lot of years standing on a pier waiting for my father to come home on a boat. Okay, he's been on a lot of giant U.S. military boats.
Wait, was he a Navy nuke?
What's that?
Was he a Navy nuke?
He was a
couldn't
nuclear
help
weapons
yourself.
technician
nuclear
for
weapons.
20 years.
Okay. I was nuclear weapons. I was a nuclear technician, not a weapons. Well, machinist made technically, but yeah.
No. My dad was, his job was to make sure that the Russians and the Chinese were just as scared of us as we are of them.
Yeah, gotcha.
That was his job. You know, he didn't get sleep for 20 years. That was his job, to make sure he was awake. Even when I was growing up, if I tried to sneak in his room after 3 days of him being up to steal a soda, he'll wait till I get to the soda and then lift up his blindfold and ask me, "Can I help you?" So 24-hour readiness if you've been served during the Cold War.
He was a weapons technician.
You're still
So
now
and then in addition to that, my whole entire family is military, right? So we have access to military grade binoculars. We have access to military grade optics. So what we used to do, because we thought it was the funnest thing, we wanted to be the first people to see our father come home. So we'd stand on the pier with a high power telescope and a set of high power binoculars. The mast on this ship goes over 100 feet in the air and it has a light on top of it. We could measure the amount of time, how far they were out and how long it was going to take them to get to the pier by when we could see the light come over. Then we could tell where they were positioned in the group of ships coming over because of the height of the ships. When they came over, first thing you can see is the light on the top. Now, if this is a flat Earth, we'd be able to see, or if it was a flat plane of any kind, if we were at altitude, say, where we could extend the horizon much further. Instead of seeing seeing the ship approach from the top, and then it basically same as an old CRT TV, the image rolling down for you, right? Instead of seeing that, we would just have seen the ship grow larger.
Debbie.
We never once saw anything where the ship grew larger. It was always from the top, and then you see it roll down. So that breaks the pixelation issue. This was before digital cameras were widespread, and we were living on the base, poor military kids. We couldn't afford to go to the movie theater except for once a month when our dad's money come in. That was it. So this is only available with mechanical devices. There's no digital allowed, no digital available in this, none of that stuff. Even the stuff that my uncle had, night vision goggles and stuff, that stuff was still military issue. If he gets us start playing with it, there's a good chance he was going to get kicked out. He'd get in trouble. But a telescope that we bought from the Big Five, that anybody can use. You can go to Big Five, and if you think that Big Five is in a global conspiracy to sell telescopes, that you can see a ship over the, as it comes over the horizon, but yeah, you can still see, lakes and stuff like that on the moon. If you think that that is the case, then why do they sell baseball bats? If you're getting paid this much money to run a global conspiracy, to be any part of it, then why? Just look at it like this. Okay, secrets. If it was a secret that was to be kept, right? Okay, anybody that's in the military, the SR-71 came out in the 60s. We knew about it before the decade was over. And that was a plane that they spent at the time a ridiculously ludicrous amount of money, and they funneled it all through the president or the owner of the Skunk Works. They funneled it through his direct bank account and made this guy stand in front of people at titanium firms, manufacturing plants, and ask them, I need a ridiculous amount of titanium, and you can't ask questions.
And we built Area 51 specifically for Lockheed Martin, and one of the reasons for those types of Skunk Work things. I mean,
Steve, who was the first person? Who was the first people to out us on the existence of Area 51?
The lizard people.
No, actually, that wasn't that long ago.
It was the Russians. How did they out us?
Satellite?
With a satellite photo that wasn't ours. And they put it out there because they wanted us to know, hey, we just saw you put down a 22-mile runway in the middle of the fucking desert. We're not stupid.
Yeah, and that's exactly true. And
why is the runway 22 miles long? Because
they needed
because a SR-71 at speed at 2,000 miles per hour at altitude needs 22 miles to get low enough and slow enough to do a hot landing.
And they needed a very smooth runway, and that's why they put it where they located it. And also,
they wouldn't have done it for the space shuttle program because that runway is literally long enough that if you were to have two space shuttles in orbit at the same time and you landed them at either end of the runway, did not deploy the parachutes and let them roll to a coast to a stop, they'd still have a mile between each other.
Yeah, it's huge, and you're right, and I do know that story. And it was, people had actually seen not just the SR-71 Blackbird, but the F-117, a Nighthawk, is that what it's called?
The Nighthawk.
Yeah, that was something that nobody had ever seen before. They saw that flying thing in the air, and they're like, UFOs. And I think the government probably said, hey, we're going to go with that. We're going to let people think it's UFO.
But see, the thing was, that thing was an incredibly unstable aircraft. That was an aircraft. It pancaked in the desert in a rancher's fucking yard, and it was basically known about to the Russians within a couple weeks.
Oh yeah. I don't believe any of the UFO stuff.
The thing is, and the thing is, if think about it like this, if we couldn't keep a blowjob from the president's secret for 6 months,
$73 million to investigate that.
We couldn't keep it secret for 6 months, right? How can you keep a global conspiracy secret for that long? If you got 3 people to help you kill one person, you couldn't keep that secret.
Hell no.
Yeah, but that's
so now you're going to employ hundreds of thousands of players in this. This is not going to work. Think about just a smaller organized crime organization. How power hungry people are, power vacuums occur. Look at what happened to the mafia. The first time somebody came in and got scared and they were like, hey, you don't necessarily have to go to federal pound me in the ass prison.
Like a knife.
They're like, you know what? I'll take that secret, underground program, put me in the secret witness program so that Sammy the Bull Bravado can move to Arizona and become the ecstasy kingpin. That's how things happen. But when the shit hit the fan, guess what? Not even his secret was kept. They were like, well, this guy used to be in the mafia and we busted him and he's going to fucking prison now.
And that's a good luck. But Kyle, here's even simpler. Look at, and I've asked this from many flat earthers. None of them could ever give an answer to this. And Debbie's not really good on math and stuff like that. So I'm not expecting from her. Maybe Uber can. But I've never seen ever somebody tell the difference between math used to show that the earth is round between the math used to show that the earth is flat. Geometry is geometry. Geometry doesn't give a shit about conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
It doesn't care. It doesn't give a shit. It makes no difference what you fucking believe about a conspiracy theory. The math is the math. I have yet ever, and I'm sure I'm speaking for everybody in here, have ever seen a flat earther give us flat earth math that works ever.
Well,
Why is that?
Even simpler than that. Okay, if you live anywhere on the West Coast, Debbie, here's what you can do. You can see for yourself the results of a round Earth that's spinning and moving through space yourself 2 ways very easily. And I know that most flat earthers, you want physical, in your face proof that nobody can adulterate, correct?
I had to mute her because she had some music and she might be AFK.
Okay.
But
well,
ask Uber.
Hopefully. That's correct, right? Okay, so here's 2 ways you can do it. I know that they have an extremely long range rifle shooting range out there in New California. I think it's near Big Bear. And then they also have several high altitude rocketeering groups out there that are amateur rocketeers. What you can do is hook up with either one of them, and they will let you, either if you go with the people that shoot, they will let you run a spotter camera, or they will let you, if you go with the rocketeers, they will let you get your own camera, bring your own camera with no fisheye lens whatsoever, and they will help you hook it up to one of their rockets. Of course, they're going to make sure that everything's balanced, everything like that. Or if you go with the shooter, the reason I say either one of these is because when you go with a long-range shooter, you're going to see them calculate for the Coriolis effect, because the Earth is going to move underneath their bullet. And where they tell you where you put that target, they're going to hit it, even though you're going to watch their barrel not be pointed at that target.
All right, so wait, and I know exactly what you're talking about. So let me ask a question here, and this is kind of critical. If Kyle's going to use math, just say you're a sniper, Kyle, you're going to use math that has to factor in the Coriolis effect, and you have to use actual numbers to hit the target. How is Debbie or Uber's mathematics differ using a flat Earth model? That's what I want to know, because they don't calculate it. They won't calculate in the Coriolis effect because it doesn't exist to them. So because they're not going to hit the target.
Because it's very it's easy to explain. So if you go to, say, a Goodwill, go to a Goodwill. You don't need a very good globe. Go get a shitty one that's been torn up, right? Get one of those, spin it, just put a rod over the top of it so you can spin it and see how that globe would move under the trajectory of a bullet, okay? Now, take that globe, take it off the fucking pin, okay? Now, put a rod directly over a plate that's, spinning on the axis of that rod. Now watch how that bullet would move. It's not going to move in the same direction. It will move off to your right or your left, but it will not travel as if it's going in a straight line, but the surface underneath of it is moving. It will move in a completely different manner. Because the Earth is rotating. This is things that you can do in your home, or you can do live in front of you, that there's no way to adulterate the result.
Well, let's ask Uber. Uber, I mean, like I said, we've talked to Debbie for a while. I mean, Uber, do you have something that you can present to us that shows flat Earth math, that shows something we can look at and go, okay, this model explains all the different observations we look at? And by the way, what is your stance on flat Earth? What do you think the shape actually is on it? Is it a disc? Is it how thick is it? What is your model that you use, Uber?
I'm at the point right now, dude, that all I know is that I am not spinning on a ball, dude.
Well, that's not an argument. That's not an argument. You have to get
no. You're asking me like what shape I think it is, how thick I think it is, dude. First off, the farthest we've been able to dig down is
it has no relevancy to the question.
Yeah.
So, like, as far as
we're digging down to the mantle in the next couple.
I got no idea.
So,
we're digging down to the mantle,
here's
which
the problem
is like
that we have is
miles down, but the farthest down we've gone so far is only 8 miles. So when we go down 1,000 miles, I'll believe it when I see it.
But here's the problem, Uber. You cannot say it's not round unless you have evidence it's not round. What evidence do you say that it's not round? What are you using to falsify?
Because you guys keep talking about the Coriolis effect and the way that the bullet drops and stuff like that. But you guys are getting one.
Rifling has to do with the spin of the bullet, so the bullet goes in a linear trajectory.
Right. No, the reason that they spin the bullet is because you can get, it's what's called spin stabilization. A rocket achieves it as well. well. Basically, what it's doing is you're trying to get your two heaviest points opposed to each other, and then you keep those spinning. They want to keep going in continuously different opposite directions. Therefore, your axis stays like your center of mass stays along the center axis.
Right. And so you basically you're going into a linear direction.
Here's an even better way that we could understand this. Okay, so the bullet trajectory thing is not helping you. Okay, so if you look up on YouTube, you can find video that was literally shot with a high 8 camera, just a very fast high 8 camera in the 60s when the North American Space Agency, they wanted to see if it would be possible to create a space station with artificial gravity. What you would need to do and how fast you would be able to spin, how fast you would need to spin it, and whether or not it would be feasible, and if a human would feel like they're on Earth. They found that at a certain radius with a certain RPMs, yes, this was true. So let's do a thought experiment. You're in an elevator. You have a light beam. You're pointing the elevator. There's a laser going through this elevator, right? And you see that the laser is curving down as it goes through the elevator. How do you prove that the elevator is moving up, or that the laser beam is actually curving itself? How would you prove this?
This has to, it's frames of reference, guys.
Why is my laser?
So how would you determine? How would you wait a second? Let me simplify my question. How would you determine
through to make it
how you are moving, and how would you determine if you are moving or if the laser beam is moving?
Kyle, I know your experiment, but you're not really kind of relating it to the way they're going to understand it, and I don't think they can understand it even if you did.
Yeah, you should have.
Okay. So even better.
Let's got diagrams. We gotta get Rumpus in here. We'll get some diagrams.
Okay, so if you were on,
they're like Geo Streber.
If you were on a spinning flat disc, the way the Coriolis effect would work is that you would see the bullet travel in a curved path. However, when you're on, you would actually see the bullet, it would look like it's turning. However, if you went with a shooter, it would just look like the bullet was stationary if you could keep the camera on it, and you would literally see the earth move underneath of it.
And also,
so you can do this at your local playground and see the difference.
You're also got to run a disc, though, Kyle. You also got to take into effect that as you leave the center of that disc, the amount of force put upon you from the rotation of the disc itself will change the center of gravity. For you, you're going to be under a lot more. As you get toward the edge, you're going to be experiencing a lot more gravitational pull.
That's what I was trying to make them realize themselves, is that no matter what you do on a disc, once you leave the surface of that disc, you're going to appear to start moving to the outside of that disc because of the momentum you already had.
Yes.
Why is the disc?
Whereas on a ball, you're not going to appear to move to the outside of the ball. It's just going to be
Kyle.
Sorry.
Take a breath, buddy. Take a breath, man. We don't need Rumpus 2.0. Okay, so hang on.
We're already there.
You're already there. So hang on.
So
love
Kyle,
your enthusiasm, Kyle, but hang on. So Uber, what do you want to add?
I was asking Kyle. So you guys keep saying a spinning disc. Why is the disc spinning?
Oh, you believe in a stationary disc?
Yeah, you guys.
Well, it still makes a difference.
Well, here's the thing, though, Uber. That actually makes it worse.
Yeah, it did.
Because there would be much less accounting for movements in ballistic long-range shots.
Yeah, and where's the base? Is this the bottom of it? Is the top of it? Is it going up? Is it,
It would actually make it ridiculously easy to cheat if you were a long-range shooter in that case.
Now, I got to ask Uber, what is your? I mean, Debbie already gave her goal. She thinks the Bible says the Earth is flat. Earth is flat. Nothing can change that. God himself.
Wait. I don't use the Bible to prove flat.
Well, you said religion.
I just use it
You
for reference.
You keep going to religious over.
You got to prove that the religion is.
If God, hang on, Debbie. If God himself,
Flat Earth has been scientifically proven.
Debbie,
applying scientific methods.
Debbie, you're Christian, right?
Bible for anything.
No,
Debbie, you're Christian, right, Debbie?
I don't belong to a specific type of religion.
All right.
I
How,
go by the
if God
religion of the
Himself,
Creator.
Lord Yahweh, Jehovah, Allah, whatever, came down and told you,
Even-
Debbie, hang on, Tony. He told you, God Himself told you the Earth is not flat. Would you believe Him?
First of all, he if the Earth wasn't flat,
If,
well, I already know it
if
is
God
flat
Himself,
because He said
Allah,
so.
whatever
Well,
God you have, what is
Steve,
your?
I have a better way to ask this, and this
Go
is
ahead.
goes both for you,
Sure.
Debbie, and you, Uber. Could you be wrong?
He
Yeah,
wouldn't say
just
that
like
for
you guys
one
could be
thing. He's
wrong.
already gave. He already
Yeah,
gave
Debbie,
us
that
a
doesn't answer my
pretty much
question.
Debbie,
idea.
you got to learn how to answer questions directly.
Debbie, could you be wrong?
Could
I
you
would
be
ask him why
wrong?
would he lie? I would ask
That
him why would
doesn't
he
answer the
lie?
question,
Why would
Doesn't
he
not a
That's
non-answer.
not
the
answering,
question?
I'm taking
Debbie.
you out
It's
of
a
it.
yes or no
Rephrase
answer.
the
It's
question.
a yes or no answer.
Rephrase
Exactly.
the
I'll answer it. Ask me the question.
rephrase the question.
I'll show you how to. I'll show
Debbie,
Debbie how to do
Debbie,
this because Uber did it fine.
Rephrase the
Jared, ask me the
question,
question.
please. That's
Jared, ask me the
yeah.
question.
Rephrase the question.
very simple question.
Ask me the question.
Could you be wrong?
I could be wrong, yes. And all you have to do to show that I'm wrong is give me evidence that I'm wrong. There you go. Now, Debbie, how do you answer that question? Yes or no? Could you be wrong?
Can I be wrong about what?
The shape of the Earth.
No, I don't see the evidence that it's a
There you go.
globe.
That's
I don't
the
feel
difference.
the spin. Do you
That's
feel the
it.
spin?
But see, what you just did,
Yeah.
what you just did is you basically said there's no possible way to falsify your belief. You're incapable of learning anything at that point. You've shut down against all
Well,
reality.
I've been asking for an Earth image, and I can.
But you can't be wrong. So what does it matter? Nobody's gonna. But Debbie, let me show you what you just did. Nobody's gonna show you anything now because they know they can't. You're done. You can. What they show you is not gonna matter. You just say nope, 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 nope,
No,
nope.
because
And
I'm
why
not,
do you want an
I'm not
image?
relying
Why do you want
only
the
on
image?
flat
Because
earthers. I'm not relying
Okay,
on flat earthers for my evidence.
basically,
You know what? There's Navy artillery experts that are exposing the flat Earth. They're saying that the Earth
You're
is flat.
missing the
Why
entire
their
point.
missiles work.
No, hang on.
You're not
That
real.
was straight from Mark Sargent, and that
It was.
person that claimed to have
No,
that,
these
that
aren't from
missile
Mark
tech from the
Sargent's
Navy
channel.
was bullshit.
It was from Mark Sargent.
No, I got.
It was literally a Navy
No, I got
person.
three
Now, Mark
Powerland
Sargent
one was
propped it up,
bullshit.
propped
Three
up to
different
say that they
no,
don't.
Mike
Wait,
Helmick.
let me,
Mike
Debbie.
Helmick,
Debbie,
Mike
listen to
Helmick,
me.
he also has
Debbie,
a video that he has
Like Helmick said,
testimony
calm
from.
Debbie,
down.
I was
From
Navy.
the SR-71
Debbie,
Blackbird. He
Debbie,
has his
Debbie,
testimonial.
Debbie, hang on. I was Navy. I had my ESWAS, my enlisted surface warfare specialist. Part of that is learning about missile systems.
Yep.
Missile SM1s, SM2s, harpoon missiles, things of that nature. Okay. Not that I remember much about it, but I can tell you right this: they have to account for the Coriolis effect and the fact the Earth is curved. I guarantee it. Okay.
Where's
Debbie,
the curvature though? Where the horizon is flat.
Deb, Steve, you're a
under
shellback, right?
Yes, I am.
I got the video from the actual 70 this with the SR-71
Okay, so
shows the flat horizon. I don't
know
that's what I'm
about
saying,
Steve,
I don't
but
go
if
to the flat
Debbie,
videos. I'm looking for other evidence.
Debbie,
And when
if
they
you
fly
can
that missile
produce
up
a
there,
single
it's a
frame,
flat
Can I just jump in
horizon.
real quick? Can I just jump
It's
in
a
real
flat
quick?
horizon. If you check it out, if you check the Blackbird out the window, it shows the curve. There's no curve. It's a flat horizon.
They don't have a.
Hang on.
I'm not going to Mark Sargent.
Everybody
Can I
has 1
please-
I'm
second.
not going to Mark
Yes,
Sargent.
you go next.
to
But
see
Debbie,
any evidence that-
I hate to mute you. I really don't want to, but you got to stop. You've now retreated into nonsense. You've now retreated into your fallback. There's no curve. We get that. You don't believe there's a curve. It's not worth continuing in that. We understand you don't believe there's a curve. So let's move on to more, an interesting thing. You don't feel there's a curve.
Where
Forget
is the
that.
curve?
okay,
Right, you don't get it.
regardless of a curve,
Kyle,
right?
Kyle, I wasn't going to next. Ganesh, you have the floor. We
You're
understand.
not proving your ball.
Yeah, we understand you don't accept there's a curve. We get that. But we know there is a curve. So let's talk to the people that we can help.
But where
We can't help you right now, Debbie. We
You're
can't help you.
perceiving.
So
You're
let's move
perceiving
on.
the
Ms.
curve, but
Ganesh,
where
go
is
ahead
it?
and you have the floor.
You're
Maybe
escaping it. Why are you escaping
Uber says he can change his mind and we can
This is the
change
typical
our
of the
mind.
globelings.
Debbie, you have already admitted that there
You're
is
You're not
no
even presenting any evidence.
There
Where's
is
your
no point in conversing with.
Okay, Debbie, I gotta hide you. I cannot deal with it over talking. This is how you did this with JD. You were fine last hangout. Now you're back to your old things. Stop doing it. Let people have a discussion. They're not going to give you evidence that you were looking for because you're not looking for evidence because nothing can change your mind. So let other people have a discussion, and maybe they'll change their position. You can't. You are unable to change your position. So let them talk. Okay. So Ganesh, go ahead and
I disagree with that.
can have a conversation.
Yeah. Thank you, Steve. Uber, can you hear me, dude?
Can I hear you? Yeah, I can hear you, boss.
Yeah. So I asked the same question to Debbie. For example, all the activities of ISRO, all the things they've done. Do you deny all the space research organizations, or do you have any thoughts on that?
I personally haven't seen anything that that doesn't look horrible to me. Like you guys were talking earlier about the Indian Space Center, and then also a big one is like JAXA, right? Isn't JAXA the one that's got the Himawari?
Yeah, Himawari is Japanese. Yeah.
Okay. To me, when I look at the footage of the Himawari, it doesn't look right to me. The shadows, the Terminator line, a lot about it doesn't look right to me. And then there's also, have you guys ever seen the live or not? I don't even think it's a live feed. I just think it's a feed from the JAXA thing orbiting the moon. You guys know what I'm talking about?
I do.
Are you talking about the LRO?
Yeah.
I do.
Yeah, they have something that's supposed to be orbiting the moon. And when I was watching that, dude, I just like as I'm watching it, man, I remember better graphics on freaking Diablo 2 on
You talking about the reconnaissance orbiter? You talk about the lunar reconnaissance orbiter, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, but you see, here's the thing. Look at.
Okay. Wait, Steve.
Yeah, go ahead.
Let me.
Don't fall for it.
Okay.
Go ahead, Ganesh.
Uber, quick question. What does quality of a video have to do with anything?
You mean besides the fact that it looks like a cheap ass computer game and it's supposed to be like 4K live footage? That's a horrible problem, dude.
No, you do realize that transmitting that much amount of data from that distance has its own cost effects associated with it, right? You cannot ask for 4K.
I am glad that you brought that up.
Awesome.
No, wait, let me finish.
Oh God.
You cannot ask for 4K from the moon without including the cost benefits of it. It would actually cost more than the mission's budget. If you want that much bandwidth available.
That thing's on my.
There is bandwidth, there is distance, there is signal loss,
Can I ask a question?
there is noise. There are tons of variables. My degree is in communications, so this is sort of my field. I majored in electronics and communications in my undergrad. So there are so many variables.
Ganesh, that's basically what makes the proposition of a dark web red room in HD impossible, right?
Yeah.
Because you can't go through that many internet protocols, that many internet condoms, and maintain that flow of data.
Okay, so guys,
you have to compromise somewhere. You have to compromise somewhere. You get to see the whole image right away.
So
you get to see the image at high speed.
HDTV or isn't it, guys? Because you're saying that you can't get HDTV from the moon.
No, you cannot get a live stream HD from the moon. You can record it and then transmit the data.
It's like this. It's kind of like this. Can I explain it like this?
Sure.
It's like your phone at home on Wi-Fi, right? Or if you were to let your phone buffer and download, right? Wait a second. If you let your
No, I'm not going to ask again. Whoever has their phone on vibrate, please, for the love of God and the hearing impaired among us, so we don't lose the rest of the hearing we have at our age, turn it off, please. Thank you. I don't know whose phone is vibrating, but please stop that. The live chat is going to lynch us. Okay, go ahead.
Continue.
Voice quiet. I'm actually enjoying the quiet. It's nice. Can we just kind of sit?
Let me put it to you this way. For example, you can watch 4K videos on YouTube because they're uploaded. You can increase your you can watch 4K videos right now on YouTube, but you cannot live stream 4K videos because
big difference.
Okay.
Yeah, because the bandwidth and encoding all the
So it
The
turns
requirements
out
for live streaming is
right here from JAXA
Only live.
actually isn't even live. This was recorded. And
yeah.
even in
Recording is
their
a whole different-
description from Kaguya?
Kaguya.
Okay, Kaguya, taking full Earthrise by HDTV on April 5th, 2008, aspect ratio 16:9, and HD quality.
Yeah, you know that HD quality goes down as low
That
as
is
Yeah,
HD
yeah, you
quality.
do realize
That
HD.
looks like a
You
cheap
do
ass-
realize-
You do know
wait,
that
wait.
HD is. Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
Yeah, literally 720p is
720,
HD.
yeah.
Yeah, 720p is considered HD. Okay, I used to sell HD. I used to sell TVs, and I can tell you right now, it was long before you had interlaced 1080i. A 720p is considered to be high definition.
HD. Yeah.
These
High
graphics right here
definition.
remind me when I
That
used to
footage
play
don't look
Flight
realistic at
Simulator
all. I
98.
mean, look
dude.
at
And
this.
720p is crap compared to what we have out there now. I mean, we realize this, right? So
Yeah. And even
that
that
looks
though,
ridiculous,
okay,
that
even
low.
at 720, even if this was at 480, dude, those what I'm looking
Look at
at
the,
right
look at the
here,
Earth image. Wow.
it looks like back in the day when I used to play
That's not real.
Flight Simulator 98, dude. Okay. If I was able
Debbie,
to have the flight simulator on the
Uber,
moon,
okay, Uber and
that's
Debbie.
the kind of
Uber and
graphics
Debbie.
it would have.
Question to you. Okay, Debbie just said it looks fake. What part of it looks fake, Debbie? Can you point to something?
Yeah, it's not realistic.
how would you know
Part
what
of
it
it
looks
looks
like?
fake? Let's see. Maybe
Because I
right
watched cartoons
here
when I was
across
younger,
the
and it looks
whole
like a cartoon.
horizon
Okay.
of this,
And
the-
I
It
was
looks like someone's simulation.
one
It looks like a
crater
simulation
sticking
software.
out, sticking up, or anything like that.
look at
And
that,
this
there's
is
nothing
only
out
a short
there.
clip of this. Like, there's
Wow.
like tons of footage of this. If you
Where's-
sit there and go through it, where it all looks like that, like this gray mass right here with no craters or anything like that. Like,
you do
the
realize
craters are
you do
ridiculous.
realize that Kaguya is orbiting the
Uber.
moon at a high altitude, right? It's
Uber.
not on the lunar surface.
Yeah, it's not
You do
right.
realize that
Yeah,
it
it's
is-
literally in orbit.
Hey,
It
Steve,
is
can
in
you hear
orbit.
me?
Yes.
Okay,
temperatures
I have
get hot
actually a
over on the
question
moon.
from Debbie.
Yes.
I just joined the chat. I had to actually hang up to be able for you guys to be able to hear me. I'm a Persian guy coming to US. I'm an ex-Muslim. This is the first time I actually talk to you guys. My question is this. We have actually done experiments on a vacuum tube that feathers and coins actually fall on the same rate with absence of air. How do you explain that? What force actually drives those objects to come down at the same rate? And we actually done it when there was air in the vacuum tube, and we see them actually falling in a different rate with air. How do you explain that?
I haven't seen the experiment. I have to see it. I think somebody brought that to my attention before.
You got to
I have to
remember,
see the
she doesn't
experiment.
accept gravity, Cirrus, and we'll get back to the satellite thing in a
What does the
second. but-
vacuum have to
Are
do
you
with
talking
anything?
about the
What's
experiment
the
with
vacuum?
was that Brian Cox?
What-
Was it Cox that did
The
that?
vacuum eliminates any air resistance. That's the point of the vacuum.
Right, exactly. And what I'm trying to say, when you talk
What
about
does the
buoyancy
vacuum
and
have-
density, when
Okay.
there's no air, it takes away from the equation that there could be any
One less
forces
air.
playing in buoyancy or density. There's no
not
density
vacuum.
playing in
But
that
what's the
thing.
vacuum have to
Why
do with
does it
anything?
sink down? Vacuum, there's nothing,
What's the
pretty
va-
much nothing.
What does the vacuum have to do with anything? then?
Because there's no air in there for resistance.
There's no air
Flu-
for it to go
fluid.
down, right?
Atmosphere
more-
fluid.
There is nothing.
More
there is
pertinent
nothing.
question, I
Explain it.
think, at this time is Debbie. You said you do not believe in gravity. What do you
What's the
believe
Okay,
causes
what's the
stuff to
simulator
fall
for?
down or hold us to the earth?
Stop the fucking buzzing on the phone. people.
Sorry, I
the-
thought I had to stop
my-
it.
I don't know who it
Sorry,
is.
my question, Debbie. My question. I'm gonna rephrase my question. If we put a big metal ball in water, it will sink down because of density, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if I take water away, what happens? Would it fall down still?
If you take the water away,
Yes.
it would remain on the I guess the the surface. I mean, not the surface, but the floor or wherever your
But
deck
we
is, I
have
guess.
actually done that experiment, actually pumped air out, so there's no density playing there, and it still falls, and they actually fall in the same rate. By they, I mean a feather and a coin.
Yeah,
How do you explain that?
I already said the formula requires you have G, which is the acceleration
Right,
of the force
exactly.
of gravity.
I
And
think
yes, by the way,
our
wait,
core
one
argument,
quick,
yes,
one
okay.
quick. I am people were correcting me in the last hangout, and by the way, I'm well aware what G is, people. I'm not an idiot. G is the acceleration of the force of gravity, but it is colloquial fine to say G is the force of gravity, 9.8 meters per second squared. I understand it's not technically correct, but not everybody's a physicist. Okay, so let's kind of have a little leeway here. They don't know what a force is, some people, and we're dealing. No offense to flat earthers, we're dealing with people that don't understand basic physics. So, when I'm using some colloquial terms to try to explain it to them, I'm using it in language where they can try to understand. But I do know what G is. Okay. But to have the buoyancy, right? To have buoyancy of a fluid, you require to have gravity. And you're trying to say that gravity, it's not gravity, it's buoyancy, but that makes no sense because you still need gravity to have buoyancy.
What is gathering up all this water? When you look at a globe image, people ask, what's blowing up the water? It's on a spinning ball.
Gravity. Right, that's what I'm trying to. That's what I'm trying to ask you, actually, Debbie.
Okay, that's fine. That's fine.
If we don't have any air, why does it fall down? If it does fall down, there's a force actually forcing it to go down, and that's why water actually sticks to the planet.
And in relativity,
that's
it's not
what I'm
even a real
trying to.
force.
But you can't demonstrate that.
Yes, we can.
You can't demonstrate that in an experiment.
Yes, we can.
Yes, we've done it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When you get the air out, it falls down. Why?
Well, I don't know. I don't understand what the concept of
Okay,
it. So
Debbie. Okay, wait, Debbie.
Well, why is it that if a dead body will like sink in the to the in the water and then later it rises back up
Because of air. Because gases expulsion.
Exactly.
The decay.
Exactly. It went against that gravitational force or whatever.
So there's another force opposite gravity's not a strong force.
Buoyancy counteracts gravity.
Right.
Yeah, I know.
So if you have buoyancy, if you have something like air, right? And you take,
guys.
Its density, the buoyancy overcomes the density of the object, and it rises.
Guys.
Hang on, guys.
Yeah, hang on. Okay, Debbie. So what you are saying is buoyancy is what makes things sink or rise up, correct? For example, if you toss something on water, float or rise, like float or sink, correct? Is that right?
It depends on what the object is.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Give me an example of an object that you prefer, like that you have actually thrown into water or something to see whether it sinks.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So let's take this. You have a full jar. Okay. You fill it up with water. You throw in a stone. Okay. It sinks. Correct. Now you seal up the jar. Okay. You pump all the water out of it. Now, if you throw in a stone, what is going to happen?
The jar.
Yeah. No, the stone. Yeah. See, you filled up a jar with water. Okay. You threw a stone. You dropped a stone in there. It sinks to the bottom. Correct.
I think so.
Okay. Now, the same jar, you pump out the water. Okay. There is nothing in there.
No, the jar wouldn't. How come bottles float?
What do you mean bottles float?
Like when bottle, like they say, well, you put a message in a bottle and it goes down the ocean or whatever. So the glass bottle floats. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
and
but the glass bottle is only going to float if you cork it and you trap air inside of it. If you fill it with water and then you throw a note in and you throw it in the water, it's going to sink.
Because air will rise up. Yes.
Look, Debbie, your argument is actually that you're saying everything falls towards Earth because there is a difference in density and buoyancy, right?
I'm saying that you can't see this forest. You can't measure it.
That's fine. All I'm
We can see
saying
the
that
effects.
your argument explaining why things fall
It's just
towards
a
Earth.
theory. It was just theorized. It was just
That's fine.
theorized by another man.
That's fine, Debbie.
I'm just asking you if I let. I actually have a lighter in my hand. I've been smoking through this conversation.
Two
If
objects don't fall at the same time, though.
but that's fine.
When you
If I leave
That
this
is fine.
lighter in my hand right now, it will fall down towards the Earth, right?
Yeah, but the Earth is supposed to be spinning. You cannot show me
Sure.
a demonstration
Don't
where your
go there.
water is
Why does it
scooping
fall?
No.
to a
Listen
spinning
to this
ball.
question. No.
Why does it fall?
That's not the question.
Why does it
Why
fall?
does it fall?
Exactly. Why does it fall?
I just told you because it's mass volume measured per unit, and
Okay.
it's the density of the object and the air that surrounds it. The heavier it's gonna fall.
Heavier
Because
against
the air
what?
is lighter than
Heavier
the
against
Heavier
object.
what?
against what?
It's denser than the air.
Okay.
Okay. If I
Debbie,
pump
right
the air
there.
out, what's going to happen?
You can
If
take an
I
object
take
the
all
same
the air,
size
yeah.
Like, let's say
of a
we are
rock and fill
sitting
it
in
with
a
helium.
room.
It's just gonna go up.
It will go up if there's no air.
Is what go up?
Okay.
I'm sorry. I maybe
no,
misheard
sorry.
you. Yeah. Go ahead, Ganesh.
Yeah. I'll make it easy. Debbie, okay. Right now we are sitting in a room. Okay. Cyrus is holding a lighter in his hand and he is dropping it. Right. It is falling down to the ground. You are saying that it is falling down to the ground because the lighter is heavier than the air that is in the room. Correct.
I'm referring to every kind of objects. You keep
That is fine.
nitpicking
That is
and
fine.
put
Yeah.
and take two objects
If the object
that are
is
heavy
heavier
or
than
whatever. We
the
know
air
the ship
surrounding
falls. We know
it
the ship
falls.
falls. That's a fact. But you
Mhm.
can't show where this gravity. This
Okay, that's fine.
spherical,
That
what
is
is it, a
fine.
string pulling it down or what?
Okay,
That's why
that
it's
is fine.
theorized.
No,
You
Debbie,
cannot prove a cause.
let me ask you another follow-up. Okay, any
So what?
object
Things
that is
fall.
heavier,
Paper falls
Debbie,
at a less rate.
All right, hey,
There's
stop,
bottles that
guys.
fall
Guys,
different.
we're getting nowhere on this. Okay, Debbie.
No,
No,
Steve,
no.
just this one, just
All
this
right, you
one,
got
please.
2 minutes
Just
wrapped this
this
up.
one.
Let's talk to Uber. Uber,
Okay.
as a new person, we already know where Debbie's position is. It's a brick
Okay.
wall at that point. You have 2 minutes. Wrap it up. Everybody's getting
Okay.
sick of this. Like the live feed is
Okay.
going.
Maybe there's another
Debbie.
doctor could explain it better than I can. I'm a terrible teacher.
Steve,
All right, well, that's fine.
can I tell you something? I didn't have a chance to actually talk over Facebook. The thing is, I think in the position that flat Earth believers take is usually they don't understand the basics. And no offense, Debbie, I'm being honest here. I think we need to go back to basics before we go to like astrophysics or quantum physics or any of that, because it doesn't make sense when you don't have the basics. If you don't know what 2 + 2 is, you cannot solve any equations. So I think we need to actually establish a
equations.
groundwork.
Equations is not
Absolutely, I would
reality.
say that yes, but they explain reality, Debbie. We use them every day. What
It's
I'm
not
trying to say
reality. It's
here is
scribble
this.
scrabble on a board where men get notoriety for solving equations. I mean,
Right, but that's
look
how
at
you
Einstein
feel
and what he
because
did.
you
He barely
right.
combed his hair. He was lost in his own equations. I mean, it's not
Well, that's
reality.
why
I
I'm
don't
not
care
bringing
what kind of math you
equations to our
got.
conversation, Debbie. I'm
I've used
trying
my
to
eyes and
actually
I'm seeing
establish
things
a groundwork
fall,
of how
but that
our
that
facts
doesn't
come
mean
to
it's
play.
gravity pulling on it.
Well,
It's a
gravity
Masonic force.
does. I just told you if we take the air out, when there's no
but
air,
she
there
cannot.
can be a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So
all
So
depends on the medium. It could be air, oil, all these different, different
what if
things that
there
you
is
can
no
do
medium? That
tests.
is the. What if there is no
You
medium,
can have
Debbie?
different. You can have
What
different
if there is
mediums.
no
You can have
medium?
air, water, oil, different densities of oil and liquids.
Again, that is
Okay, go
fine.
look.
What if
Yeah,
there is no
all
medium?
objects.
What
Yeah,
is going to
yeah.
happen when you drop something
You can
where
fill it
there
up.
is no medium?
You can fill things up with air, right? It'll float.
What?
Gas
Okay,
rises.
Debbie, do you know
Water
what a
bubbles.
vacuum
Are you
is?
saying on the bottom of a ball, like the
Debbie,
gases are like going the opposite direction?
Debbie,
Are people upside
please
down
listen.
on the ball?
Please listen.
No,
Do
I
you know
want to
what
get
a
back to the
vacuum is?
globe.
Do you know what a
You want to
vacuum
go into
is?
the math and all the other things and the
Do you know what
theories.
a vacuum
I don't deal
is?
with theories. I don't deal with hypothetics.
Do you know what a
All right,
vacuum
we're going
is?
nowhere. Done, Ganesh. She's
What I
not
can
listening
observe.
anymore. No, we're
Can
done.
I-
Yeah, we're not. Yeah, all you're doing is talking to a brick wall at this point.
If Debbie is not going to answer the
Yeah,
question, then
she's
there
not
is
going
no
to answer.
point.
Right.
Steve,
Yeah.
can I ask my
If you don't
second
know what a
question?
vacuum
I'll
is, then
be
there is
out.
no point.
Yeah, she doesn't know what a
discussing
vacuum is.
anything.
So let's get to Uber. And by the way, King Crocoduck will be joining us soon if he has time. So
Oh,
maybe,
nice.
yeah. So I'd rather have King Crocoduck than Debbie at this point. All right, Debbie.
Can you please mute
Debbie,
her? Can you please mute her?
I've been trying to. She's on the phone. Debbie, I want to Aeon, I want to thank you for joining us, Debbie. I mean, the last hangout you did fine. This one, you're just going back into your old mode, and it's not really productive. So I'm gonna ask you either just listen, or respectfully, you could take off and we'll talk to Uber. Your choice. But when King Crocoduck wants to come in, we'll probably have to make room anyways. But we're not gonna keep going back to you. You don't understand this. You don't want to understand it. Your mind can't be changed. So showing you evidence, explaining to you, basic high school physics, elementary school physics is not really beneficial to anybody right now.
I know, but I need to see something.
Okay,
in
you
front of
don't
my
need to
face.
see
I mean,
anything.
like,
So I
we
want to
need
thank you for joining us.
Right when you're
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Debbie. I
When
want to
you're
thank you for Debbie. Goodbye. I'm just done. Sorry. She's done.
She's not
done.
willing to listen.
Yeah, she's not willing to listen.
Or learn.
It's late night. Everybody's getting pissed off that it's just talking to a wall, and they want to move on to other things. She's not letting us, so I have to take the responsible thing and just remove her. So, I know
Steve,
it's disrespectful there, obviously.
Steve, beside my first question, can I ask Uber a second question? Based on the flat Earth model, when the sun is actually hovering above us, it should actually hover on an axis, right? That we see it going around. Wouldn't that actually create a problem where people on the north side of that line where the sun actually is going around us will see it rising and setting in a different way? We always usually see the sun coming up almost from the same position, right? People on the south should actually see the sun rising in the northeast, right? If flat Earth is actually true.
Not so much. Here, give me a second to pull.
Oh, we got pictures. Yes, this is what I want. This is good. See, I like this. Now we got diagrams. We got things we can look at. This is good.
So, just a what the hell is it called when you tell something a prefix to what I'm about to say, guys? Prefix. My bad, not prefix. Prefix isn't a sentence.
Preface.
Or in a word. Yeah, my preface. So I do understand that there are problems with the AE map, all right? But for the most part, as far as what you were asking right now, with the way that the sun goes around, and it presenting a problem, if it's going along, okay, so the equator, if it's not like what we were taught on a globe, all right, where it's the middle of the ball, it's the half of the ball, right? It's the widest part of the earth. If that isn't on a ball and you basically take a globe and squish it from the top, I guess would be the best way to explain it. That would mean that the equator is like right here, right in the middle. Can we agree on that, guys?
That dark line right above that, yes.
Yeah.
I would say this. I'm gonna throw out every beliefs I have at this point. I'm gonna go totally Descartes on you and say everything I know is wrong, and I'm gonna let you prove everything to me. So go right ahead and make your point.
That's not Descartes didn't really actually say that. Descartes was not a nihilist. Yeah. And I mean, even a diehard skeptic, most of them, will agree that there's some knowledge that can be had. I mean,
right, metaphorically speaking, I'm just trying to.
All right. So Uber, I like his idea. Let's pretend everybody in this room knows nothing about this topic, and we say, look, we want to know the shape of the Earth, and we want you to demonstrate us using your math, physics, diagrams, whatever the hell you want to do, and say this is how it works, and this is why it explains what you see. Would that work? That'd be fun. You guys, okay, so let's do that. We're blank slates. We're a blank slates, teacher.
Be better than
Okay.
Tabula rasa, as they call it.
So if this dark line right here was the equator, right, and the sun was following that line and that would only be like on that exact line on the equinox. During Australia and South America's summer is our winter here. Well, I don't know where all you guys are. I imagine, being as most of us are speaking English, and then there's
Yo no sé. Nosotros
Ganesh.
vivimos en Estados Unidos, pero no me
Nah, I
gusta
can
hablar
speak
español. Yeah, Ganesh actually speaks English. Amazing, right? Yeah.
and then
Hey,
Ganesh
for a
already
foreigner,
said that
Ganesh, you speak English good.
Well, no.
Well, I come from
Ganesh
Iran,
already
so I
said that
speak
he's in
Farsi
India,
actually,
right? He
and I
said he's like
lived in
30 miles
Malaysia
from the
too.
launch site in India, right?
Yeah, I
Did I
am.
miss that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I am in India. Yeah.
Okay. And I assume everybody else is in America.
Yes.
Assuming. Hey,
I
can y'all
was in
hear me?
America for
Yes,
about
sir.
5 years, but
Okay.
I am back home right
I
now.
don't
for
really like
vacation,
to
yeah.
assume, just because
Yeah,
it
I'm
makes
American.
it
I'm
so that you and me,
California.
you know?
I lived the first 18 years of my life in Iran.
Anyway, let the men present.
Yeah, present.
But, okay, so
Your dominance.
You
like,
got it.
so
Show us.
Australia's summer would be when the sun is on this side of the equator, okay, circling around, and that would be our winter months, okay, because the sun, if it's following that, would constantly keep going around. Now, kind of what I've seen on a few things is that as it goes around, it kind of actually spirals in, which is how we end up getting the seasons. When
It would be
we
an
start
elliptical.
getting summer,
It would be elliptical. It wouldn't be circular. It'd be almost egg-shaped, right?
why would it be almost egg-shaped?
I
Yeah.
think we should let him finish before we actually jump into
Oh
it.
no, dude,
Yeah.
that was dude, I don't mind. That was a legit question.
We're in the class right now, so let's just hear what he needs to teach us.
Okay, just
It would
trying to
be an
clarify.
oscillating spiral.
But yeah, so if it's out here on this side of this dark line right here and going around, and then as the year goes on, if it spirals in and gets closer towards the North Pole, because on a flat Earth map, you guys already know that we already think that there technically is no South Pole, right?
Well, we don't know anything. We're the students.
We're blank slates.
I have no idea what you're talking about. What is this? What's that blue? Is that supposed to be waters? I don't know what this is. Can
Professor, I have one question.
I go to the bathroom?
Dude, I think
Professor,
this
during
arguing.
the this year that happened, like right over top of me, because I live in Iowa, there was like a solar eclipse that happened last year, right? How come when that solar eclipse happened right over top of me,
Kyle, stop. Let him explain.
my friend in Australia,
Yeah,
no, this.
we get it.
That solar eclipse, how come my friend in Australia didn't?
Yeah, we were breaking up, Kyle. You're breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
All right, so you have the floor. Show us, teach us why
the
Earth is
Steve,
flat.
can I add something
Okay, then.
before Uber goes on?
Go
Yeah. What we are actually trying to do right now is to establish a groundwork of what the logic and actually science
Not
that
the
goes
question.
behind the
Show us
flat
the Earth
Earth.
is flat. Uber. I don't want you to. We're giving you the entire floor. Don't derail it with pre-supper bullshit or anything else. Show us the Earth.
Show us your example.
Show us. I want to know. I want to know the shape of
question-
the Earth. I want to know the shape of the Earth. Show me
And
the shape of the Earth and how it works.
Can I add something?
Yeah. You have the floor.
Thank you.
No, dude, I haven't said a word.
No, it's someone else.
No.
asking to add something.
Okay, go ahead, Uber.
The question
You
was
guys keep saying
actually
Uber when I'm not saying
Oh,
Uber.
okay. Oh, who's talking?
Cyrus.
Sorry, Cyrus. Shut up, Cyrus. No disrespect.
Okay.
Let Uber have
Okay.
the floor. Jesus. Okay.
Hey,
Come on,
have to
y'all.
hold the floor. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Cyrus. Okay, Uber, go.
All right, so there is no South Pole in the typical way of thinking. There's the North Pole, and everything is in relationship to the North Pole, which if the North Pole is right here in the center, then everywhere, all the directions would be in relationship to this. For instance, anywhere going this way, away from it, would be going to the south, which on a flat earth model or on a globe model would still work the same, because you're still working out on a flat earth map or down on a ball. If you want to talk about like circumnavigating, first off, nobody's ever circumnavigated north to south.
Question.
Okay. Go ahead.
What is
Tons of people have circumnavigated east to west or west to east.
What does circumnavigate? I don't know what that means. I don't know what any of these words mean. I know nothing.
Circumnavigate is to completely go around an object.
layman terms for those students who don't know anything?
Yeah, it means to go around an object.
Okay.
Is that basic enough?
Around? Like round?
Hey, what do you mean by round? I mean, as an orbit?
Well, you know what?
Oh.
Funny thing about round is that a quarter's round, but it's not a ball. A plate can be round, but it's not a ball. So things can be round and not a ball, but a ball can't be anything but round.
Okay, yeah, I think I remember that. Yeah, a sphere is round. Yes, it's also yes, yeah. Okay, I agree with that. Sure. What am I missing here, teacher?
I don't know. What's so funny?
I don't know who's laughing. I don't know who this is. I have you presented. I don't know who's laughing.
I'm curious. I don't know what I said that was.
I don't know either, to be honest with you.
Because am I
someone
wrong?
was laughing for some reason.
It was weird. It's like a disembodied laugh. I don't know where that came from.
Okay,
Yeah, I'm
can
not
I ask
hearing any
the
laughs after that.
teacher a fundamental question? How does our compasses work if there's no south?
Well, because your compasses only point one direction, bro. That's how they work.
Okay, so they only go
Everything
towards the North
is in
Pole.
relationship to
That's the
that one
only
direction.
existing pole, right?
If you look on a compass, there's one part of that compass that's painted red, which would be the north, and everything on that compass is in relationship to where north is.
Okay, so what happens if I put a magnet next to the compass?
Then you're purposely fucking with the magnetic field. Why would you do that?
Exactly. How does a magnetic field work?
A picture is worth 1,000 words.
What is a field, anyways? What is a field? I don't know what a field is.
Okay. Before we go there, I want to ask just one clarification from Hope. You said that there is no pole-to-pole circumnavigation hasn't been done, right?
North to south, no.
It has actually been done.
Okay, there's one that I've heard of that's kind of half-ass bullshit, so I know where you're going with that. If you want to keep going with that, go for it. I can pull that up.
Which one are you talking about? Because that's not the only one.
Okay, so then
Which one are you talking about?
I'm still confused what a field is. I don't know what a field is.
Yeah, I thought we were still. Are we still students?
Yeah, I'm trying to learn something here. I want to learn what a field is. I don't know what a field is.
By the way, Steve, check your messages.
And by the way, when I want those kind of pictures, it's only when I'm really drunk. But thank you. I'm just kidding. He didn't send me a picture, people. Oh my god.
okay, so back to the compass thing, dude. With the whole, if it only points north, all right, everything else is relationship to north. So what you guys were asking about circumnavigating, going around, is what the hell is the word I'm looking for? Isn't it like a Latin word or something like that, dude?
It comes from circumference.
Circumference.
There we go. Same difference.
What is the circumference?
So
Right. My question was this though. I'm sorry to interrupt. If you put a magnet on a compass, why does it actually move towards the magnet? And if there's no south, why there's actually that two poles of a magnet attract and act the way they do? If there's no south pole, it's kind of hard to actually grasp that Earth has a magnetic field for the compass to actually show us north or south. So what I'm asking is, why is it that if I put a magnet next to a compass, it will fuck up with its showing us where we are?
because
Or
this is what you're looking at on a flat Earth map.
Okay.
Okay, so answer my question. I'm not talking about a field in mathematics. That's completely different. I know what a field is in mathematics. But what is a field in physics? I mean, you're talking about a field, a magnetic field. What do we mean by a field? What does a field do?
I'm talking about where these magnets are.
Is that wait? Okay, a magnetic field, is that a scalar field? Is it a tensor field? Is it a vector field? What kind of field is that?
Hey, Steve, I'll be dead honest with you. I got no freaking idea, man.
Well, you're teaching us. I mean, I don't know anything about physics. I've never taken a physics course in my life.
I'm
pretending. Well,
I'm the teacher on this. I came on here to argue with you guys, to be honest.
Right. I'm gonna add this. If you don't know all your facts, okay.
Stop. Really, honestly, we can't. We're all over the place here, and I want to point out something. We're trying to make a point here, Uber.
Just check this out. All right. All I'm trying to say is that if this is the center right here and this is north, okay, and this is south, and circumnavigating east to west would not be hard because you would just be going around.
Okay, do you know how long it would take to circumnavigate around that if that's the south wall? I mean, do you have any idea how long that would take? And by the way, how do you think? Okay, if that is an ice wall there or something, how is it nobody's been there? And you cannot say that's being patrolled, because I can tell you right now they calculated how many ships it would take to patrol that, to have it actually make sure that nobody got there. It was in several thousand ships that it would take.
And correct me if I'm wrong. You can actually book tours to South Pole, right?
Yeah, I just got a phone call. I just got a phone call from the South Pole not long ago. Literally, somebody standing on the South Pole called me with an Iridium satellite connection.
Speaking of, hi Geist.
Hey Tom.
What's up? Geist is down there in the South Pole. Well, he's not actually on the South Pole. I think he's a little bit north of that.
Yeah. No, he recently
did he move?
Relocated to Polar Station.
Awesome.
Yeah. So Steve, like I was telling you when I first jumped on, dude, when you asked me about the shape of the Earth and about how flat I thought it was, or what the size of the disk was, or how deep I thought it was and everything like that, and I told you I don't know. All I know is it's not a ball.
Well, you don't know that though.
Exactly what I'm talking about, dude. Because okay,
but hang on, you don't
here's
know
the kind of crap that got me, bro. Is stuff like this image right here. All right.
What about it?
Yeah, what about it?
Wait, I have a question after he speaks.
Sure. What about this image we're looking at here?
That's the moon.
Venus.
No, it's not Venus.
Mercury? What is
that
it?
one?
That's Mercury.
Okay, Mercury.
Jupiter.
And
Mars.
Okay, that was a recent alignment, if I'm not mistaken.
No, actually, this was in 2009.
Okay, because there was one very similar just very recently last year. But okay, so this is basically us looking.
It was. Thank you for that info, dude. I'll try to find that.
Yeah, there was one. It was in, if you look south from where I'm at. No, you look east from where I was at. Just when the moon came over the horizon, there was a conjunction of alignment like that. But okay, so here we have we have again Mercury, Jupiter, and Mars. Okay, so what is the problem with this photograph?
Well, so I've been using this, asking quite a few people about it. I actually have a video on my channel about where I'm talking to some dude at Chili's about this.
But we know experts go to Chili's. Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah,
what's the point?
That's not what I was saying, dude. You
Oh,
know.
just kidding. I was kidding. Go ahead. I like Chili's.
But so I posted the video. Some dude in the comments hits me up and asked me, like, was I drawing out some kind of picture for this guy that I was talking to, which I actually was. And I told him I was while I was showing him a picture on my phone. And I told him if he emails me, I'll send him the picture. So he emailed me, I sent him the picture along with another picture I personally took with myself, and it was only with my cell phone, but it was Venus at night next to the moon. And it was at like, I don't know, like 4 o'clock in the morning. The sky was completely black. And I sent that to him.
Yeah.
And
sorry.
He sends back these, like this one right here. All right. Because he figured I wasn't smart enough to figure this out. So he figured he'd help me out, kind of like you guys are doing right now. And here's the Venus one on the right, and here's the one with Mercury, Jupiter, and Venus. And he was trying to tell me, apparently the green is where they should be able to be seen or something like that. But
it'll be in your field of view from your position on the Earth. Is that what it is?
Yeah, except
that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, this doesn't make any sense. And that's what my problem was that.
Yeah, I don't think that's what the green means, because that wouldn't,
well, yeah. No. Either way, no matter what, this alignment of these is a bunch of crap.
Real quick, let me get something here for you.
You're looking at these objects in that sky.
By the way, I don't think that's a real photo. I think that photo is CGI. I think Tom.
No, this photo right here?
No, that's real. But no, you know what? How do I know that's real? I mean, it's all CGI, right? But real quick, we need.
Check this out. This guy isn't.
We need somebody to drop really fast. Who wants to exit so I can get somebody in here that can help you with this?
Well, just to let you know, Steve, you can go on Stellarium.
Yeah, I have Stellarium.
Put in this date. All right. And
you do realize Stellarium's built on a round Earth model, right? It wouldn't work if it was flat. So you basically, if you use Stellarium, you've already disproved flat. But I need somebody to drop to get somebody in here that can help.
No, I was just using it to tell you that you can use it to follow the whatever. But either way, so check this out. So he sends me back this, telling me that this is how they're able to be seen.
I think
it kind of tripped me out a little bit, because when I sent him the picture I took of Venus, I didn't tell him what time or when I took the picture or where I was facing or anything like that. And when he sent me the email back, dude, he had the whole breakdown of like where I was standing, like where I was facing. And I was like, cool, dude, you know your shit. Good job. Except
that's the wonderful thing with the globe model is from a picture like that, and someone
could do that. Yeah,
we can do that.
No, and you can do the same thing on a flat Earth.
But you can't. That's the problem.
You can't. That's the problem.
So check this out.
Do you know of a program called like Stellarium that works for a flat Earth? Because I would love to see that. I really would.
Well, first off, in all the astronomy books and anything you look at for astronomy, dude, it shows a flat plane with a freaking I don't want to say a disc spinning above it, being the stars, but it shows a circular pattern spinning above it on a flat surface. So that itself is kind of interesting.
Yeah, Uber, quick question. Yeah, quick question on that. Can you print a cube on a paper?
Can I what?
Can you print a cube on a paper?
In other words, can you have a two-dimensional cube?
No, you can't print a 3D object on a paper. And I get that, guys. I understand that. Okay. And that's actually part of the problem with this view right here. Because, okay. Where the hell is it? My Zoom keeps disappearing. Okay. So, like, here's Mercury, here's Earth, and I drew the line because in that other picture of the of them all together with Mercury, Jupiter, and Mars. Being as Mars is the last one out and you're seeing it, I figured it had to be in view, right? Or am I wrong? And then, yeah. So the only spot on this ball or Earth or whatever you'd like to call it, that you would be able to see this and all these over here is if you were standing right here on that very edge right there, looking this way towards the horizon. Okay?
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
the problem is that I took that picture, or no. Let me take that back. I didn't take this picture. I took this one, the Venus one. This guy took this picture at, I think it was like 2 hours before, like 2 hours before daylight, all right, before daybreak. Okay. Now, if the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour at the equator, that means that we would be 2,000 miles over here in the dark, right? Or am I wrong?
Quick question on that. Why did you draw a straight line?
Why did I draw a straight line?
Instead of a cone, a field of view.
Instead of a cone, because when you see something, you get a conal field of view. You don't see just straight. If you
because
just
if you're a little speck of an ant on this ball, your cone isn't gonna see over what you guys like to have of the curve of the Earth right there, dude. Because I'm 2,000 miles in the dark.
You're looking at Jupiter. You are having a cone.
Yeah, you're subtended from your eye.
Where
you have a field of view, which is a conic section that extends from your eye, the subtended angle.
Yes, you need a solid angle.
Yeah.
Yeah. For like do you play games, Uber? Do you play video games?
Well, okay, then do me a favor, guys. Help me real quick.
All right. Well, we got somebody here that can do that. KC, this is probably your area than anybody else.
Be on here then, dude. Because like, where would you say this cone should be? Like, should it be where'd you go?
No, you can have it centered around that line, but it is going to diverge massively the further away you go.
But I can tell you, I can at least say, look, he's brought diagrams. He brought something. This is far more entertaining and interesting to me than what Debbie had, just FYI. So props to you already. This is great. But King Crocodile, do you want to maybe kind of help him work through this particular problem if you can?
Yes, I remember from astronomy we had a model. It wasn't called the equatorial sphere. Shoot, it was. I'm gonna be looking for a picture, and I'm gonna try to post it so that we could work with that diagram. So BRB fam.
And just to let you guys know, if any of you guys want to screw around with these, completely bash on me and completely.
What is that program? Can you give us the name of that? Which one you're using?
Well, no, dude. Actually, the guy that emailed me, he did this and sent them to me, bro.
Yeah, but I'm wondering what software you used for that. I mean, what is it?
I can ask him.
Right?
Dude, I can ask him and get back to you if you want.
Quick question.
I have no idea what program he actually used to do it.
I mean, there's different types of those out there, but I'm just wondering what they're called orreries, but I don't know what orrery program he used for that.
Well, and my argument is, guys, is not that they can't be seen. That's not my argument. Don't misunderstand.
Okay.
My argument is that if they are being seen like this, and you're looking this way, right? where's the light?
You mean where's
do you
the
mean?
sun?
That orange dot in the
Yeah,
middle.
like
It's
where?
night.
Yeah, didn't you say? Look, hold on. First of all, didn't you say it's 4 a.m. where you're at? That's one thing I noticed. You said it was 4 a.m. Now go back to that screen to the picture. Notice where the line is starting at, right on the Earth.
Yeah.
Zoom in. So notice you're on. Hold on. Go to your Earth. There you go. Now notice if that's depicting where you are on the planet of the Earth. Notice which side you are on the side of the Earth. You'd be on the dark side where you couldn't see the sun because it's not, you can't, because it's on the other, literally on the side of the globe, which you can't see it. It's literally blocking the sun from your vision. That's why you can't see it.
Now, mind you, rather than using linear distance across the surface, a more accurate representation to get your mind around on that image just how close you are to the Terminator line, it'd be 30 degrees, roughly, a little less.
And just FYI, I have to go AFK and I can't talk loud. So Ganesh, I'm turning this over to you for a while. Can you kind of run it, and then when Casey finishes what he's needs to find, can you like?
Yeah, I'll bring Casey in.
Thank you, sir.
Actually, I won't be able to present it. I'm actually doing this on my phone, so I'll have to mute every time. Yeah, I'll have to mute every time other people speak because my mic is going to echo. But in astronomy, there's a model called the celestial sphere. Well, basically, the long story short is...
Real quick. Let me...
Let him Google that so that he knows what you're talking about.
Yeah, let me, so I can at least type it in so I know what it looks like when I spell it, and so that I can check it out later.
Yeah, celestial sphere.
CELESTIAL-SPHERE.
Dude, my bad. I misheard you, bro. Like, I didn't realize that the first word was fucking celestial. Otherwise, I wouldn't have asked you what the hell you were saying, dude.
Okay, go ahead, Casey.
Either way, okay, so there's the celestial sphere, a celestial sphere. Guys, I fear no sphere, just to let you know.
Yeah, wherever you are on the sphere, you're not seeing just one narrow straight line and however thick that line is in your picture. You're seeing half of the entire sky at any given time.
Okay, so going off of that, which half of the sky at 4 a.m. would I be looking at in this picture?
Slightly above that blue line, all the way over below it.
Like, slightly above the blue line right here?
Yeah.
Okay.
How high these things are above the horizon are going to depend on your latitude.
Exactly.
So above this line would be like right here. Is that kind of close?
No, you didn't even have to zoom in that far. Zoom back out. Your entire field of view is over the length of that entire blue line between the Earth and the rest of the planets down to the lower right. You're going to be slightly above that blue line based on the image that you showed. Not that far above.
Slightly above. Closer to the edge. Closer to the, slightly, just slightly above. Yeah.
Think about a pubic hair off of your nutsack.
Oh my gosh, really?
Okay,
Dude.
so wait. So
very slightly above the blue line, all the way over the bottom of the image.
Here? On right here, like around here?
Keep in mind it's a cone, so it's going to be smaller at the Earth than it is further away.
You keep saying slightly above the blue line, and I'm looking at 1, 2, 3, 4 blue lines.
The straight line, the teal.
This one?
Teal. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, so the one that I drew, gotcha.
Yes, light blue. Very slightly above it at the Earth.
Okay.
Even further above it when you get to the other end at the bottom right. This is why I said you did not have to zoom in this far. Because your field of vision is not a direct line. It's not a cylinder. It's a cone. It gets wider the further you go.
Okay. And so you're saying that if I'm standing here, right?
Back
Like,
out even further.
like if I'm standing here where these two blue lines are meeting, basically, is that kind of what you're talking about? Where they're crossing like right here?
Yeah.
Okay. So what you're saying is that I could see here.
Yep.
And here.
And then a tangent in the opposite
Yeah.
direction.
Opposite direction. Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm standing here and I'm looking this way, now where would you say the terminator line would be, like in this image?
Roughly be right along the darker blue line that's depicting the orbit.
Okay.
If you were inside of 2 hours of sunrise,
I would be like here.
Barely. Probably even closer, depending on your latitude.
Okay. And so if I was looking this way, if I was standing here and I was looking this way, first off,
the cone would not be as far away from that light blue line, but it still would not be a single line of view. It would still be the cone. You would still be looking at from horizon to horizon on the other side behind you, 180 degrees of the sky, if you were unobstructed on the surface of the earth.
Okay, I get where you're coming from. So the next time you guys will see me, I'll have another picture.
So if you were looking about
where it'll actually be fixed.
Bottom of that
I was just
line right there. Yep, the bottom right of the light blue line. I would move it to probably a third of the width of your mouse cursor above Jupiter, right about there.
Like right there?
That's probably where your limit was, depending on the accuracy of the scale between.
Okay, and that's on the inside of my vantage point, my viewpoint, right?
Yes, because you were able to see it above your horizon.
Yeah, okay.
That is why we said you would be seeing a cone, not a straight line.
Yeah, no, I get what you guys are saying about the whole cone thing. And it'd be too much of a pain in the ass for me to go through and draw the lines and crap on it right now to redo this.
No, that's fine. You can just slightly adjust and extend the line. That should give you a rough estimate.
Well, you see, that's not the program that I'm in, though.
Okay,
Yeah,
got it. So it's
just
just
a media viewer, not an editor.
Yeah.
Got it.
Like if I go up here to the whole edit thing, this is the list of crap it gives me. That's about it.
Yeah, it's just a picture viewer. It's not anything where he can draw on it.
Yeah, I can change some really cool filters on it, but that's about it.
Yeah.
You guys want to see what it looks like with Icarus? There you go.
Oh.
But yeah, so
this is more accurate.
But so what is your main reason for thinking the Earth is not a globe, is not a sphere?
Well, to be dead honest with you guys, the thing that set me off a little over a year ago now, and if I actually wanted to pull it up, I could pull it to video, but it was like 9 o'clock in the morning, and I'm in Southern California, and I look up, and I'm looking at a big old bright sun in the sky.
Mm-hmm.
And then I look over, and I'm looking at the moon.
Trigonometry is a thing. That shouldn't be
surprising. That's not my issue, though, dude.
Let him finish.
And when I brought this up to some other people before, they basically told me that I was stupid because seeing the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time is possible. And I was like, yeah, duh, I just told you I saw it. Like, that wasn't my issue. It wasn't my issue of being able to see it. It's that, so if it's daytime on this side, right, the sun's out. Most of the time when it's daytime on one side, it's nighttime on the other, right?
Yeah.
Usually when it's nighttime, the moon is up. right?
It all depends on where the
Usually,
moon is in
yes.
its orbit.
Okay. Now, I get that there are times of the year and times with months. There's different months where it is known, even on a globe model, that we are told that you can see the sun and the moon at the same time.
No, that's every single month. Every single month you're going to be able to. There, it depends on the phase that the moon is in.
I get that.
Okay.
I get that. It's on the what is it? The new moon or whatever. It's near. It's yeah.
Yeah.
Got to go with the moon cycle.
Yeah.
So like I get that. Okay. But my issue is that I was looking up at the sun and I was looking up at the moon, and I'm in California, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I have friends that are actually in Pakistan. All right. I have a friend that runs a church in Pakistan. I was able to get a hold of him and ask him what was in his sky. And he was able to show me the moon.
Okay.
While I was looking at the moon
And
in Southern
may I know?
California.
Wait, hold on.
Okay.
Let him finish. Hold on.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So, was that the biggest thing?
Well, that was just what really kicked me off at first, dude. Because
yeah. So, where's the problem in that?
Well, the problem in that is the fact that Pakistan is almost a full exact 12 hours supposedly on the other side of the ball.
Which is why I said trigonometry is a thing. When you get beyond a certain distance, the fact that this is possible does not dispute the globe. It actually supports it.
Okay, so
wait, before you say something, can you explain why so that he understands why?
Oh, what I'm actually doing now is I'm playing with a program I have to where I can manipulate my view of the globe to actually show where you can see it'll be slivers on the edge, but where you will be able to see the west coast of the US and where Afghanistan is.
Okay. And Casey, you can jump in and make some corrections if you like. So what you're essentially saying is, depending on the phase of the moon, it can be right in middle of California and Pakistan, which means both can see where the moon is. And as it gets closer to one location, depending on the phase,
well, and like what you guys said, that happens once every month, right?
No.
Well known happens once every month.
No, it's variable because it's based on the phase of the moon, and the moon is not on a monthly scale. It's slightly less than 28 days. So there are months that will happen.
God bless you.
Sorry.
But as you're looking at my screen,
by the way,
I'm talking here. Over here at this yellow bit right there on that side, that is the west coast of the U.S. There you are in California. That's how you can still see the yellow. And look, Afghanistan would be right over here again, just on the edge.
I get that. And if the moon was like over here where your hand is right there, or maybe a little bit to the left over there, then both would be able to see it. Yes.
Yes.
But
so what is the issue with that happening? Why would that point towards a flat Earth?
Okay. Would I not be close to the night side if I was on that little part of North America right there that you're pointing?
No, you don't have to be. Yeah, you don't have to be on the dark side of the Earth to see the moon.
Well, no. That's not what.
No, that's
not really what I'm saying.
This is where
I'm saying
it depends on the time of year, because keep in mind, in our summer, there is a vastly longer amount of daylight hours due to the relative tilt of the Earth towards the sun. So you are going to have more than 12 hours of daylight, which makes an occurrence of both you being in daylight, your friend in Pakistan being in daylight, and both being able to see the moon while both in daylight even more possible.
Hey, Jared, you have a bit of a echo.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
Yeah.
Well, hey guys, you know what? Can I just first off, right off the bat, just say this has actually been a great conversation having with you guys. Thank you so much. I love talking to people that even though they don't agree, because at least with what you guys are throwing at me, I have two options. I can either do what Debbie was doing and just saying, la 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 la, I can't hear you, or I can actually take that information and try to refine my arguments with it. And then if I reach a certain point where my arguments fail, then I would obviously have to drop out. That would be the only logical thing for me to do, you know? Like, you guys have presented a good case. Thank you so much. And believe it or not, this will actually help me. You guys are probably going to hate me for this, but this is going to help me argue against a shit ton of globe believers, just to let you know. Well, because
So
you guys...
confirmation bias. You're not actually looking for truth.
No. I think.
no,
Hang on.
that's
I
fine.
think. Hold on. I think it's a decent approach for him to try to see if he can disprove the globe model, and to see if he can take the information we're giving him and see if he can reconcile it with his beliefs. And I think that eventually, well, we'll see what'll happen. But I think this can only be a good thing.
Way to be optimistic.
Yeah, dude, I'm not... I can't say that I'm not biased, obviously. Right? Like, give me a break. That'd just be stupid. But at the same time, I can't ignore information. I mean, I thought that I had a pretty good beat on these images right now. You guys informed me that I didn't have quite as good of a line of sight on them as I thought. So now I got to go back and refine my argument on that. If I keep doing that, and after a certain point, I'm looking at it going, yeah, there's just no way, then obviously I'm going to have to change my mind on something. Like, and I'm a little bit different, dude. I'm actually willing to do that. Because, I mean, dude, I got no stock in this. I could care less if it's round or a ball or a fucking frisbee, dude. I could care less if it's a triangle, dude. Doesn't matter.
It's a trapezoid. Come on.
Like, dude, we could be sitting on freaking Homer's donut from The Simpsons, dude. I could care less. Like, that's not the issue. What I want to know is just
when I asked
truth.
the question
That's all.
earlier of could you be wrong? You said yes without hesitation. That's a good start.
Dude, I've been wrong a lot in my life. I'm not afraid to admit that. Like,
and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just being able, and you are willing to take on new information. That's what separates you from Debbie.
well, dude, how are you able to learn? Who was it? Was it Edison that had that quote that said, I didn't fail 1,000 times. I found 1,000 ways that didn't work.
Yeah, that is attributed to him for his light bulb.
Yeah.
Edison.
So, it's a little bit different. As a matter of fact, do you guys ever talk to Don Treader?
Real quick, Edison did not invent the light bulb. He stole it from Fleming.
Yep.
I just said the quote is attributed to him, man. Let's not go into.
Fuck Edison. Tesla rules. Fuck you all.
Right on.
Oh my gosh.
It kind of freaked me out.
Tesla's kind of overrated, to be honest.
Crap, though, dude.
I will boot you. I swear to God.
Edison won.
By the way, yeah. Uber, I want to get your thoughts on the question I asked Debbie, man. She pretty much said that she believes like every space organization is in cahoots and they're all faking it. What are your thoughts on that? What about the other space agencies? And
I kind of fall into camp with her, but I don't discount them right off the bat just because. Like, I'll look at them, and if they look fake, then I'll call them as fake. If they don't look fake, then I'll say, damn, that looks if it is fake, that looks pretty damn real. If it isn't fake, what the hell's going on? But I haven't really seen that a whole lot yet. Like, I live over here in Southern California. I deliver for Amazon. Not to get too much into my whole personal story and shit, guys, but I'm actually like physically disabled. I got sick like 13 years ago and hasn't gotten much better. So I can't really hold like a normal job. Have to be independent contractor. So I deliver packages for Amazon because I can work on my own schedule with that. On the days where I'm sick, I don't work. If I'm not sick, then I work, you know. One of the facilities I pick up from is seriously half a block away from SpaceX in Hawthorne.
Yep.
I've actually talked to a SpaceX employee. As a matter of fact, I have a video on my channel of me talking to a SpaceX employee. The footage that I see with like SpaceX, dude, honestly, I think that's a joke. You want to talk about Starman for a minute? Hell, I don't have 2 hours to go over Starman with you guys. I'm sorry, but that'd be fun on another time. As far as what's going on with the launches, like what you were talking about, boss, seeing the ones in India, Ganesh, I've been in. Do you guys know who Astronomy Live is and Red's Rhetoric? I'm pretty sure, obviously.
I know Red's Rhetoric from Steve.
Yes,
but
no
that's about it.
one for them. Matter of fact, I'm doing a moderation for Astronomy Live here soon. I hope supposedly he's finishing the arrangements.
Cool.
Yeah, I know who he is. Yes.
I think they're actually both pretty cool guys. Red seems kind of a dick, but he seems like a fun dick. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, he's a good dick. Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That was the wrong word.
We will give you rope. What you do with that rope is on you. If you decide to choke yourself, we're gonna help and pull harder.
Dude, you know what? That's actually what I've noticed when I've watched debates against people, dude. It's like, okay, so I disagree with you guys. We've had an actual pretty good conversation this whole time. Like, much different than a lot of the ones that I've seen online, dude. It's weird.
Well, spread the word. My channel's really kind of known for having these types of actually discourse.
Steve
and
pretty
dialogues.
much lets things happen in the guys who are talking. If
You
you're
know-
not a dick, he'll call you out for it. If you are having a honest conversation, you'll always be welcome.
Right. Exactly.
Steve,
Well
that's
said.
actually what drew me to even seeing your channel. That and your awesome picture, because
it is pretty good.
Like,
I'm gonna be back and forth. Like I said, I'm making dinner, so.
But yeah, dude, it's been a blast talking to you guys, and I got no problem talking to you guys. Because I'm not afraid of what I know changing.
Well, hey, can I ask something real quick? Because I know I wasn't in here the whole time, but I was just wondering, how do you depict, like, when you look up at the moon and the stars and the sun and everything? Are those objects floating in the sky somewhere, or are those projections? Because I've heard different answers, so I was wondering what you took on it.
Okay. As far as the stars look like. Okay, so the stars and the planets. And it's just me, dude. They look like not projections, like being projected from the ground onto the sky.
But that's what you're like. It kind of looks like that in a sense.
Well, yeah.
So
yeah, like yes
Okay.
and no. Just because when you check out, like, have you ever checked out like slow motion video of like lightning and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen the lightning like coming up from the ground, right?
Depends on how slow the video is.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenon that does happen, but you have to have an extremely sensitive, high-speed
An
camera.
extremely fast camera.
Well,
the frame rate on them is insane.
You know,
I think around 50,000 or so, right? I think that is what is required.
when I see lightning and I see slow motion footage of lightning and stuff like that, it truly, honestly reminds me of, you know, those fun little toys we used to have as a kid, the little Tesla coils inside the glass ball, the plasma balls.
Oh, the mad scientist ball.
Yeah,
Hmm.
that's what it looks like to me.
Well, in essence, it is.
Yeah. It's
It
just,
is just a miniaturized version of what our atmosphere and weather does. It's the same premise. It's the flow of electrons.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's the same basic concept as what you're saying.
Yeah, it's the exact same thing. It even creates the same plasma.
Well, but anyways, though,
and vapors.
Yeah, I'm just wondering though. So, like, go on with what you're saying about like the whole stars and the planets and everything.
They look like lights in the sky, dude. As far as the moon, nothing tripped me out more than watching the lunar eclipse. That, because dude, it looked really, really odd, and everybody that was outside watching it, and this was like 4 o'clock in the morning. There was like 4 people outside my house watching this freaking thing, dude, at like 4 o'clock in the morning. And just the look of it looked really, really odd, and it really made me rethink what I thought I knew about the moon. First off, when I was a globe believer, and then also even now as a flat earther, it made me rethink what I thought I knew about the moon. Just because.
Do you have something specific?
Well, okay, so the best way I can explain it is that when you're watching the shadow creep over the moon and you see the light slowly creeping down, right? And it goes from like a half to 3/4 to crescent, and then it finally disappears, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, when it starts getting to that low part where it's just a little bit more than a crescent right there, dude, it actually looks like 2 objects. It's weird. But not like 2 objects. It looks more like if you've ever seen something through like 2 pieces of glass that have been stuck together.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
Parallax error.
Like
you're talking about for the solar eclipse, right?
Not the solar eclipse.
He's talking about the lunar eclipse.
Oh, lunar eclipse. I'm sorry.
But yeah, it just looked weird, dude. It looked like 2 pieces. It almost looked like 2 pieces of glass not quite lining up right.
Not quite aligned, and it's and that should happen because of the way our atmosphere and the way the light refracts and reflects and off of and on items.
Well, I got a question though. Before we get into like hardcore complex things, you mentioned that the stars, you know, they look like lights, right? I'm curious, where is that light coming from?
I have a different, more simple question, but the preface is like, this is your simple question.
Well, it's just that, like,
Actually,
okay,
like a complex
so
question.
I have an answer for you, but I can guarantee you, and I'm gonna tell you this right now, I can guarantee you, you're probably not gonna like the answer, and probably unless you have any idea on scripture or anything, you'd probably laugh in my face. So
Well, I'm actually getting a degree in biblical studies, so shoot me.
well, okay, when scripture says that the stars are angels, okay, it says all the stars will fall from heaven, and then it talks about how the angels have a circuit. They have like their movement where they're supposed to move in the court of God, I guess, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was just thinking, like, well, what if that's actually like the constellations, like moving around, you know? Like when we see that, like the star trails, right? Like, what if that's them actually marching? What if it's true that we are God's freaking footstool, dude? You know, like what the hell?
Well, then here's a question for you. Do you take the Bible as literal, this is how it is truth, or is it a collection of parables and morality tales?
And just a quick roundup on that. Do you think the Bible is 100% right, or are there any areas where it is actually has some errors?
That's a loaded question, but I'll give you an answer on that one.
Well, hang on. Oh, go ahead.
Personally, go off of Torah, bro. Just because Torah is the only 5
interesting.
books that is been it's been untampered with. As soon as the Catholic Church got a hold of the scriptures and they canonized everything, holy crap, the world went to hell in a handbasket, dude. Now you have like 15,000 versions of the Bible. You got 30,000 denominations of Christianity. It's insane, dude. It's ridiculous. I can't believe it. They're all preaching this weird crap that's going on. Nobody's actually reading the book, which I find interesting.
I've read it.
A lot of people who read it end up not being Christians anymore. Like me. I've read 14 different translations of the Bible and the Torah and the Quran.
And you can throw me in there. I haven't read the Torah, but I have read the Bible and the Quran.
Well,
And
if
pretty
you,
much other religions.
you said you were an ex-Muslim. If you're an ex-Muslim, dude, you should have read the Torah.
No, the Quran.
No,
The
I'm
Quran is
saying
the Muslim
you should
one.
have read the
It's
Torah
actually
first, dude.
pretty much version 3.
Yeah.
Well, I beat all of you. I read the
Held the
Talmud.
Torah in his hands
Oh,
and
you
said
got
that
the
these
Talmud
words are
too?
true. Now, I understand that you said ex-Muslim, so you could really probably care less about Muhammad now, so it doesn't really matter.
Anyway, the thing is, are you putting the flat Earth thing that you're talking about on, and what the Torah describes as Earth on pillars, as a disc with its 4 corners and a crystalline or a transparent dome?
You know what? Yeah, just about. I mean, how many legs does the footstool have, bro?
Okay, one more quick follow-up on that. So, for example, that is what follows in the Abrahamic tradition, if you will, like Torah, Quran, Bible.
Bible, Quran, yeah.
But if you go to the other parts of the world, you would see that flat Earth. For example, in India, we have history of astronomy dating back like 2000 BC. Flat Earth and the dome has never been a thing here. We have never had it here.
So your guys' astronomy goes back 2,000 years before. So it
Chinese,
goes back.
Chinese goes back even further.
So your astrology or astronomy or whatever you guys got is going back what? Going on like
8,000 years.
Like 4,500 years?
8,000.
No.
China.
Yeah.
Some
For
of
us,
the
it's
star records are from China, and they go back to 6,500 to 8,000 years BCE.
and to just give you an example, Indian astronomers Aryabhatta, he calculated the length of a day and the length of a year to about four. I think his error margin was around 1 microsecond for a day and about 30 seconds for the year.
Hey,
That
well, hey,
The Mayans and Incas also got a very close approximation.
dude.
As well.
Bill,
Yeah,
you're
guys,
breaking
all
up
this stuff
bad.
that you're telling me, I've already heard it.
Hey,
Uber. I've already heard a lot of that stuff.
Hey, Uber. I wanted to.
Wait. One sec, Hunter. I want to get his thoughts on. Okay, you heard it, and what do you think on that?
Well, it's kind of like when I hear people compare the story of Jesus and his birth with like the story of Horus, right? You guys have heard that one?
Among others, yes.
One quick
And
question.
all of you guys think that's
Uber,
legit?
One sec. We got a super chat, so I gotta read it out.
Okay.
Halsai has given us a super chat, and he says, "Wish this guy could be with me here up north. He'd realize how much of his objections are normal here." Thanks, Halsai, for the super
Thank you,
chat.
Halsai. And by the way, I just came back, but real quick on that whole, I want to make the note on this, on that whole Horus thing. The other day when we had Arn Ra, and we were talking to him on air, and he had actually brought that up, and I was going to correct him on air, but I didn't want to be that guy. So I actually talked to Arn afterwards, and I did bring it up to his attention that the Horus was not born on December 25th. Matter of fact, it was somewhere in July to August, but he's not going to be using that any further. So most of us don't accept the zeitgeist on that. Just FYI.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, then you know what? That's fine. That's great, because I don't either. And the reason why I don't actually is because they try to say that that Horus was born of a virgin, right? That Isis was a virgin.
Yeah.
So Isis was a virgin, but yet she went through 2 husbands and a dead guy.
Yep.
Yeah, that's just like saying.
And never got screwed. Are you kidding me, dude?
Yeah, most people I know are not.
Don't a pecker.
Uber, don't
have a baby.
Uber, don't assume everybody thinks the same way. We have all kinds of.
I know, no, guys. I'm sorry. I don't take it as
we're the smart. We're the smart.
Okay.
Don't take it as I'm like
Uber,
now. I'm just saying how ridiculous that sounds, right? Because someone brought this up to me, and I looked into it a little while ago, and it's still kind of blowing me away about that. Like, I mean, that's really reaching for a comparison right there. That's all, and I hate it when I see that happening. And
we do too.
But here's the thing to think about, though, too. Going off of the Horus myth, comparing it to Jesus and Christianity, Mary was a virgin for him.
Say what?
There are parallels between the two, and
there are many. Yeah, there are many different stories.
Well, but no, Mary was a virgin.
Right. There are similar stories in a lot of other religions as well about virgin births.
But how is that similar? That's completely opposite.
But in all fairness, Christianity is Christianity is unique in that Jesus it does explicitly describe certain homoerotic tendencies of Jesus, and you don't see that in other religions.
Yeah,
debatable.
Yeah.
Yeah, where? Point him out, please.
Well, remember the time he got nailed. Hold on. Remember the time he got nailed by all those Roman soldiers?
We can go to Ainana and shit, but like, I still have a question about the flat Earth.
My channel
waiting for 2 hours to ask it actually.
My channel neither condones or condemns that of the view of the panel.
Just a quick intersection. Halsai has given us another super chat. Thank you, Halsai. And here is his message. By the way, in case it's unclear, since it took a while, I'm referring to things like the moon and sun visible during the day. This is a daily occurrence here. And correct me if I'm wrong, Halsai, you're from Norway, it seems, correct?
Yeah, he's up in Scandinavia.
Yeah, it looks like it. Looks like it. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Uber, something to think about. While Crocoduck was making a joke, it's not entirely wrong, because in the Bible, the term "washing of feet" at the time was actually a sexual euphemism.
Where are you getting this information?
Language.
Because I mean, when it says he washed his feet, to me it says he washed his freaking feet, dude.
Well, and this is why I asked: is the Bible literal or is it metaphorical? Is it a piece of literature or is it straight history?
Yeah,
Well,
because I take "O come all ye faithful" very literally.
Until it tells me that it's making a comparison to something. And then I don't take it literally. Because I mean, when it uses words like and as, like in any other thing, then I take it as a simile or metaphor.
Now, Uber, do you say everything literally, or do you use colloquial phrasing with innuendo and other meanings?
Depends on
It's simple yes or no. Not do you do it all the time, but do you sometimes in your
No,
written
you know what?
language use
I would,
colloquial
and I understand where you're going with that. Because there are okay, so like when it talks about Peter denying Christ, right? And it says that he's going to do it before the cock crows 3 times. It wasn't actually like a rooster. It was the town crier. Like it was somebody in the temple that would blow a horn, kind of like Big Ben ringing, you know?
Is this actually somehow related to the shape of the Earth? Because I have the feeling that we are moving away from the topic.
Yeah, of course you are.
Yeah, I think we got into the subject because okay.
Well, hold on.
Back.
Wait. The original question was like, the stars and everything, like his projection.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That's how we got on this.
And so he said that there are angels, and if you notice in my side chat, I actually gave an answer for that. So you said angels were considered stars according to scripture.
There are 45 messages in this side chat.
Okay. Well, hey, do you also know that church leaders and like church fathers, like for instance, the 12 apostles, they would be considered stars as well, right?
Yeah, and Hannah Montana as well. But what does it have to do with the subject? Like, seriously,
my question. Hold on, because my question was.
Wait. Let him finish. Let Hunter finish.
Yeah, because my question was, it's like with the flat Earth model, where's the light coming from of the stars? And he said the angels. So I'm just giving a brief kind of answer, like, if it's the angels, what about the 12 apostles who would also be considered like stars according to how angels are depicted as stars in the Bible? Because I don't think it's talking about literal stars. I think it's talking about more like a divine leadership. Which God, he is like light and everything. And that it just goes along with how scripture talks about how, stars represent divine leadership and everything, which would work for angels and the apostles. So so of course, being biblical and everything, I don't think that's depicting angels in the most correct way. I see where you're coming from, but you would also have to count church leaders as well.
Well, okay. I do get where you're going with that, because there's actually, all right, because the Hebrew word for angel is Moloch, all right, not Moloch, but Moloch. Like, right. I just can't pronounce it right, dude. I'm not freaking Jewish, so
no, that's fine. That's fine.
But like, so and I talk to people about this all the time. Like, there's a guy. Yo, whoops. Apparently, I'm being
seriously. Like, my girlfriend told the same shit to me like 1 hour ago. It was just like, shut the fuck up.
That was okay. Anyways, just try to whisper or something.
Okay, so back to what I was saying.
Whisper.
Lower. You don't want to get yelled at again.
Dude, I totally forgot what the hell I was saying.
Yeah, it's Malak, not Moloch. Malak.
Yeah, Malak.
So there's a guy, he's a flat earther, and he tries to discuss this situation in a really, really weird way, dude. He talks about like angels powering things and like angels being these giant things, and he tries to give examples of things going around their halos and stuff
Are you
like
talking
that.
about
I'm
arcane
like,
logos?
I'm like,
oh
dude,
my gosh,
it sounds
I'm
like
like,
arcane logos.
you got no idea. No, it's his name's FPV.
What's his name?
FPV.
No, that's not familiar.
He's a really interesting, cool guy from Australia, but I don't agree with what he's saying. And I talk to him about it all the time, and I'm like, dude, you don't even know the word for angel. You're using it in the wrong way. Like, there's more times in scripture where the word angel is referencing just a messenger, whether it be a person or somebody from heaven. Basically, to know where they're from, you have to get the context of what's being said.
Let me ask you a quick question. I can't speak very loud, so please forgive me. But could it not be that back then, 2,000 years ago, when we had people that didn't know shit from Shinola, when they're looking at the stars, they're just trying to understand it. And so if they said, "Oh look, there are angels up there," doesn't mean they're fucking angels. It just means that they didn't have the understanding we have now.
You know what?
I'm with you.
Agree with you on the fact that we are actually. You're trying to say that we're smarter now than they were back then.
No, it's not smart. They're smart. We just have more knowledge.
No.
I don't want to say who's smarter. Smartness is a weird term for that, but we know more about the universe than they did.
No, dude. Are you kidding me?
We have far better tools.
The pyramids are built to match the freaking stars, dude.
We understand. Well, there might be some truth to that, but that still doesn't matter.
I'll give you another example.
They couldn't detect gravity waves. Okay, they couldn't look 13 billion light years into the past like we can. They are nowhere near the technologically advanced civilization we are. They didn't know what stars were. They didn't know what fusion was.
I don't think we can do half the crap that they tell us that we can do, because I want to see an example of it. Because most of the time, when you start reading these
what do you think we can't do?
Can you give us an example, maybe? Your strongest example? Something they did that we cannot do right now?
You mean like burn a fire in a vacuum?
Well, you need oxygen.
You need oxygen to burn. Yeah, actually, we can burn a fire in a vacuum.
But here's the thing, guys. When that fire burns,
why do we need to do that? Why
that's a fire burning? Now,
why do we need a fire without
oxygen? Check this out, guys. Like on Earth, when things move because of the atmosphere, aren't things moving because whatever propeller or whatever is propelling the object is pushing against
the atmosphere? I'm
the
glad
atmosphere,
you bring that up,
right?
Because my associate's degree is in aeronautical engineering. I was an avionics tech for the Navy for years. I dealt with aircraft. I still deal with aircraft today, even though I'm an electrical engineer now. A rocket engine is not analogous to a jet engine or a propeller. Yes, a jet engine, a scramjet, a propeller, they need an atmosphere. They need to physically move the air to create the thrust to propel the body. A rocket engine does not.
Right.
They have their own fuel that burns it.
Yeah, you'll bring your own fuel and oxidizer. Ramjet requires air.
The fuel is burning, but now what's creating the thrust?
Where does the
expanding gases?
Where do the gases escape from? The spent gases and materia, the ejecta, where does that go?
Okay, and
goes out the rocket nozzle.
So when it goes out, you get an equal thrust the other way.
Right.
Newton's law. Every action has an equal and an opposite reaction. So when it
And-
escapes fast downwards, the nozzle gets pushed upwards, and since it's attached to the rocket, the engine, everything gets pushed up.
Here's a trivia question for you guys. Let's see how smart you fuckers really are. Give me the 4 things that are required for fire. Go. It's not 3. I said 4, and I said 4 on purpose. There are 4 things. What are the 4 things? Go.
Burning medium, oxidizer.
You need
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
What is it, Jared? All right, so fuel, oxidizer, what?
Fuel, oxygen, heat, and fuck, what was the 4th part?
Yeah, that's I know the 4th one. Now I need to see how smart you guys are. I know the 4th one. You should know this. You went to firefighting school.
I know, and that's why I'm kicking myself. I can't fucking remember it.
You of all people was the one I expected to get this.
Fuel air
I don't
ratio?
know, maybe a catalyst.
The correct fuel air ratio?
No, what you need is what's called uninhibited free radicals.
Uninhibited free radicals.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. No, he and I actually went to firefighting school because it's required in the Navy, and so. But yeah, that's the fire square. It's not a triangle.
Yeah.
What exactly is that, Steve? Uninhibited free radicals.
Uninhibited free radicals will allow the fire triangle to actually come together. There's an inert gas called halon that they use on board ships that acts as a fire suppression system. And the way halon works is it's not that it displaces the oxygen or replaces it. What it does is it prevents the heat, the fuel, and the oxygen from combining together.
Yeah, it prevents.
Works on the chemical level. Yeah. Navy for the win.
I didn't realize I was muted.
Going back to the question.
Yeah, they do give you an education in the military.
Really?
Yeah, hard to believe. Wow.
Yeah, they actually. I found a Jordan Peterson video where it actually talked about why the military has a minimum IQ requirement, because they need everyone to be a certain level of trainability for even the most basic job.
That is absolutely fact.
What?
They don't want even the Marines, even for infantry, you got to meet a minimum conditions. They don't want dumb. They want people that can think.
Yeah, they don't want dumb people.
They're gonna give you a gun.
They're gonna give you a gun.
Oh gosh, let's not get in that conversation. I'll hang out right now.
Wait, but they could give you a broom and tell you it's a gun.
Broom. No, Navy is mop. Tom, mop. We all mopped. Oh God, did we mop? Yeah. That's no joke. You definitely do swab the deck. That's not even a farce. That's straight up truth.
Hey, so
by the way,
anyways,
what do you guys think
question.
about those solid rubber tires they must have had on that Tesla?
Yeah, no, it wasn't solid rubber.
Well, so what would happen if you put a tire in a vacuum?
It would expand out to the. It would expand out a bit, but not a whole lot, depending on the surface tension that the rubber itself was able to create.
And also the tensile strength of the tire.
Yeah, well, the tensile strength, yeah, the whole thing.
Really?
That's where I was going.
Now, granted, they're not going to last very long. You got to remember, it's
Now, you know what?
Oxidize real fast.
There's actually a guy I want to get a hold of now that I thought of that. I'm going to tell him to make a video and put a tire in a vacuum.
Well, you got to remember, it's also going to be exposed to what's UV radiation and lots of it. The sun, without the atmosphere,
Not just UV, infrared, the
whole 9 yards.
Well, guys, my whole thinking on that is, so Elon told us that he launched his Tesla up into space, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have video after it left the atmosphere and it was in the vacuum of space, right?
Yeah. Do you realize that even if that was completely hoaxed, it makes no difference about the shape of the Earth, like zero?
I know, but this has just been kind of bugging me. I was wondering, because you guys seem like a panel of very smart gentlemen, so I was wondering if you could throw some ideas at me on this.
Yeah, I'm not sure how Tom got in here. No.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff, but I'm
went.
But anyways, so are
Sad
you
day for
wondering
Tom.
why the tires looked inflated?
No, I'm actually wondering. So he launched his 2011 Tesla Roadster up there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
because he's the
the
crazy
2011 Tesla Roadster space worthy?
Not really.
No.
No, it's not intended to be. It was a publicity stunt in order to garner attention to SpaceX.
Well, so that's my point. So you're telling me
It's a
that,
marketing ploy. He's a
windshield,
businessman.
that the windshield can withstand extreme heat and cold
It's not
fluctuating.
supposed to. No, it's going to disintegrate. It's
Yeah,
going to fall
it's
apart,
disintegrate.
oxidize.
Well,
it's
for a
gonna-
while, it can.
But even that,
Well,
getting to the basic physics of your argument here about temperature variances and everything, the Tesla Roadster, if you watch it, does what every other satellite does. It rotates.
Rotates to even out the distribution of the radiation or the heat.
You know what would be something really cool? I want to see somebody put a Tesla Roadster in a big ass vacuum. See what happens.
I want to see someone put a Tesla Roadster in my fucking yard here. You know, the driveway is what I want to
In
see.
my garage.
Yeah, but considering you won't. Yeah, but Steve, you wouldn't be able to drive it anyway.
I don't have a
You wouldn't Be able
license.
to pay the bills. Yeah,
Here's the
so
thing.
Yeah, I don't have a license, believe it or not. Yeah.
Here's the thing.
I'll drive you around.
In order to, I am willing to bet your expectation of what would happen is not what would actually take place. Because
Oh no, dude! Trust me, I'm not expecting it to go all like just fall into a million pieces and fucking explode and shit. No, that's not what I'm thinking, dude. I'm just thinking that like.
You think some alien's going to drive it back to us?
No,
That'd be
I'm
pretty
thinking
cool.
that there's a lot of like. Okay, so the airbags, right? The airbags are pressurized, right?
No. The airbags are inflated by a chemical reaction. Basically, they're just burning little pellets inside that burn really fast, like gunpowder almost.
Okay.
Yeah, it's almost like
the chemical reaction creates a gas that expands really fast.
Yeah, when it gets crushed, because otherwise, if the temperature goes very high, you can have the chance of it expanding. So what they do is, when it hits, it smashes the pellets, and then they create the gas that expands faster.
Exactly. Yeah, so there's no charge. There's not like a CO2 cylinder or something like that in there.
Gotcha.
The only pressurized thing is maybe as if it had air conditioning. Then you would have chlorofluorocarbon gas inside the air conditioning system.
But that's a sealed system.
Huh?
Yeah, but that's
a sealed. That's a sealed high pressure system with CFCs.
Yeah, it's a sealed high pressure system. But even then, they wouldn't even have any in there anyway.
Yeah, well, the reason they wouldn't, I don't think they'd leave the CFCs in there in case there was an accident.
Well,
you know,
and they gotta drain everything and remove, scrub everything.
Yeah, but you don't want to send CFCs up in the atmosphere.
Oh yeah.
Very bad.
If I remember correctly, they drained all fluids from it, cooling.
That would make sense.
Yeah, there's no reason to have it in there anyway. You want to save every gram of weight you can for being on top of the rocket.
Exactly.
Yeah, because every gram needs its own gram of fuel to.
Exactly.
Yeah, it didn't have a full tank of gas, guaranteed.
It's a Tesla, man. Of course, it's not gonna have gas.
Yeah, and they probably stripped it down somewhat too. I mean, they didn't need to leave
I'm
everything.
sure there's no batteries.
No, dude, he said he put a full functioning Tesla on there. They said they did nothing to it.
Because it was true. Well, they drained the fluids. I know they drained the fluids.
No, they probably
So it's not functioning if they drain the fluids. Look at it that way.
Well, keep in mind.
Well, it also didn't have any brake calipers or anything, dude. It had no brake pads or anything like that.
Wait, how did we get to start talking about cars?
You don't need to stop in space.
By the way, quick thing, guys. I gotta leave.
Yep.
I gotta go get my wisdom teeth removed. So.
All right. Thank you, Ganesh. Appreciate it.
Bye. Have a wonderful time.
Bye, Ganesh.
Yeah, see, the second half of this was so much more interesting because as much as I wanted to talk to Debbie, when she gets into that mode, it's just, I'm done. It's just, there's no use to. So.
Yeah, how do we get to talking about cars?
I don't know. It's not more interesting than flat Earth.
But
yeah,
hey,
maybe we can go back to that topic.
I gotta hop off of here anyway, guys. And
yeah, we gotta call this close.
It truly was a pleasure talking to all you guys. It was actually really fun.
Yeah, we would drop by more often. Like I said, we have this channel. We have the Great Debate Community channel. If you want to go subscribe to that, we have after shows. We've got
Sentinel Apologetics.
Sentinel Apologetics, which is General Han Solo and Hunter Bailey's kind of thing going on.
Yeah.
We got the Non Sequitur show, which actually, obviously, you watched the original hang on to this, right?
Dude, I saw something with you earlier with some chick on.
I do a lot with chicks.
Oh my gosh.
And she had like real foofy hair.
Oh, that was Mel. Oh, okay.
Mel, yeah.
That was Mel. No, I don't do anything with that chick.
Wait, dude. In chat, is her name Scientist Mel?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
She's a scientist, and her name's Mel.
I was talking to her in your chat then. Okay.
Yeah. So when we have a lot of channels, we'll send you. I'll send you a link before you go right now.
Dude, you see, that's why I don't like chats, though, man. You never know who the hell you're talking to. I thought I was talking to a dude.
No, she's
who was a scientist.
Here, join the great debate community. One sec. Do you have the group chat?
Yeah, I can see everything right here.
All right, there you go. Now you can become one of the members of the great debate community on G+. That way, when we post these links, you'll know when the hangouts are and stuff like that, and shows on the different channels.
Christian leaders. Is it okay to criticize Christian leaders?
It better be.
Yeah, I think it's fine too, and the atheist leaders.
That's a good topic, dude. I like that one.
Like, for example, I deal with a lot of atheist people, but I'm just as much to get on them as I am any theist if I think that they're, putting out misinformation.
Well, you see, I talk to a lot of Christians, and I like to ask them the question: do you think it's dangerous? Do you think it's dangerous to be proud to be a Christian?
Not at all.
Not really. Dangerous? No.
That is horribly dangerous, bro.
What?
No. It depends.
Yeah,
if you're in freaking
the whole point of scripture is for you to humble yourself.
No, I don't think that's.
You don't humble yourself with a bunch of pride.
Well, hold on. Hang.
Humble yourself, but you still profess and preach your gospel to try to bring people.
Yeah.
True. You are correct. That means you need to be confident.
Wait, hold on. Let me clarify all this since I am a Christian. It's one thing, like, what being humble means is not to think less of yourself, but think of yourself less, right? So if I'm taking pride in Christ and what he's did and everything, that's not me being prideful. That's me thinking less of myself and being more about Christ, which isn't prideful at all.
Yeah,
it's all humble.
That's actually not what I'm talking about when I ask these people this. And the context that it's actually in. I'm talking about the people that are walking around practically with a bullhorn screaming at the top of their lungs that they're a Christian to like everybody that walks by.
It's
evangelizing.
Yeah. Evangelizing.
Like, seriously, standing there yelling, I'm a Christian, because I hear that all the time, dude.
Yeah.
It drives me insane.
By the way, you're not a younger creationist, right?
These people don't exist, at least not in Europe.
Oh, they exist here.
They exist, oh yeah.
Uber, you're not a younger creationist, are you?
I am.
You are, okay. So you believe the Earth was 7,000 years old?
Less than that.
Okay.
But yeah, close to that. Yeah.
So can we arrange maybe for the next topic to be that when we next see you? That's my thing. That's my jam.
I can talk about it. I can talk about it biblically if you like.
In fact, Hunter used to be a younger creationist till he met me.
Oh my gosh. Okay. He always has to take take it for that.
That's true.
Yeah.
You helped me.
I helped him. I helped him.
It sounds like it'd be a lot of fun.
So yeah, I love talking about younger creationism and showing people why it's wrong. Okay, so let's wrap this up, guys. First of all, I want to thank all you guys for being a part of the after show. This was good. Uber, I gotta admit, you brought shit. And I mean that positively. You actually brought stuff to look at, and I'd rather have that than somebody just sits there and go, "Oh, it's just all wrong. We don't believe you." That's not of use to us.
That's what was bugging me, dude.
Yeah, it doesn't help us. It doesn't help you. It doesn't do anything. So I had enough of that. That's why I kicked her. I hate ejecting people, but I said, look, either you sit and listen, or you can leave, because we don't. There's too much wasted energy. It is. But anyways, so tomorrow. Tuesday, just let you know, we have Shannon talking to a flat earther, Justin. That's at 5 o'clock specific on this channel. Wednesday, Skylar, 8 o'clock Eastern. That's going to be talking on the morality. Is religion good for society? A moralistic approach. That's gonna be interesting. And then we got KC King Crocodile back on Thursday talking about something. So
something.
I don't remember the topic. Forgive me, dude. We have so many things planned. It's like I stick it in the calendar, but then I do it so quickly. Sometimes I forget to put the topic in. But anyway, so guys, thanks for watching. Go watch the original version of this, the actual hangout that we had with Debbie and Kirsten. It was really good. That was actually a very good hangout. Did you guys enjoy that? Because I thought that was awesome.
I enjoyed it.
It was good. It was good. Debbie did well because she did better because she didn't go full Debbie, right? She didn't. Now here's my goal though. Before I go off here, I will try to get Debbie, Rose, and G-Man into the same hangout before the end of the year. So you all try to sleep tonight